You have questions? America's #1 business coach has answers. It's your Broda from Minnesota. Here's another edition of Ask Clay Anything on the Thrivetime Business Coach Radio Show.
All right, Thrive Nation, on today's show, unfortunately, we are going to answer a question that I get asked by at least 75% of my clients. That is right. I get asked this question by at least 75% of my clients. Why, you might ask? Well, it's because the U.S. Chamber of Commerce teamed up with CBS News to do some in-depth research, and they found that 75% of American employees admit to stealing from the workplace. And in fact, most do so repeatedly. Again, in fact, most do so repeatedly. So what do you do when you catch your employees stealing from you? Today's guest, today's question comes from a home builder who writes, what would you do if you were to find out your employee has been stealing money from you by using the company credit card for personal expenses? How would you respond and react? Well, let me tell you how I want to respond. I would like to attack them personally. I would like to threaten them. I would like to go off. However, the legal system, as well as the world we live in, allows people to go on Glassdoor and write whatever they perceive to be true, and people accept it to be true. The world allows people to go onto Facebook and write what they believe to be true or perceive to be true or are lying about. And then most people who are not business owners, because again, in our American population, think about this, there are 330 million Americans, and what percentage of Americans actually start a business? It's less than 10%, according to the Small Business Administration. So again, less than 10% of the people on Facebook, on Glassdoor, are employers, and therefore when they read the comments or the reviews or the way you handled it, they will think, what's your problem? You need to calm down. But when your life, when your very livelihood, when your golden goose, when your money tree is being attacked, I get it. I understand how scary it can be when you watch somebody who you've trusted steal money from you. So I will list off for you, Mr. Listener, Mr. Home Builder, several of the bad things that have happened to me. Back in the day, I interviewed somebody to work for me. They did a good job during the interview, and they did a good job shadowing me. And then systemically, when I ran DJconnection.com, they would actually steal customers. So the phone would ring, and they would say, thank you for calling DJ Connection. How can I help you? And the customer would say, are you guys available on June 6th? And they would say, no, we're not, but I have a great recommendation for you. And they would recommend themselves. And they would do that every third to fourth week. And that was also the weekends that they were requesting off. And so they were using my marketing system, my marketing machine to create leads for themselves. I have had family members steal an excess of $25,000 of cash from me. Family members in 1 month before I caught them. 1 month. I've had family members take money from me and buy a truck using company money without asking, a large vehicle. I have had family members date employees of mine while being married. Think about that. What would it be like to be approached? Imagine you're a female working in a company and you're approached by a family member of the owner to have a relationship, and you are, what are you going to do? I've had that happen. I have had situations where I have worked with churches, and I have seen a church. I've discovered that a church had almost $7,000 to $8,000 a month they couldn't account for. And when we looked into it, we found out that the daughter of the pastor was using the church's credit card to finance a swagalicious lifestyle to the tune of over $100,000 a year. Think about that. I have had so many situations where crazy stuff has happened. So what I want to help you do is I want to help you run into a situation where this never happens again. So step one, and I hope you're taking notes because I am. Step one, we want to schedule a weekly accounting meeting. We want to schedule a weekly accounting meeting where you're going to look at the numbers and you're going to verify that what was purchased was actually purchased for the company. You have to schedule a weekly accounting meeting to verify purchases. You have to do that. You cannot abdicate. You have to delegate. So you need to schedule a weekly meeting to look at the purchases. I personally have chosen for my personal hell to occur on Fridays. So on Fridays, that's when I discover people taking my cards and using and abusing them. And this happens a lot because 75% of employees, what? Steal from the workplace, and most do so repeatedly, according to the U.S. Chamber of Commerce and CBS News. Now, according to my personal experience, I think the number is higher. But step one, you want to schedule a weekly meeting to verify purchases. Okay? Every week. It's the same time every week. Now, step two is you want to document issues. Because the way the world works is, again, what percentage of people actually start a company? 9%. Right. So only 9% of our population will ever start a company. Now, according to Forbes, 9 out of 10 businesses will fail. So if we're math wizards, we would determine that less than 1% of people actually ever start a successful company. So therefore, if you were to take this into court of any kind at all, the vast majority of people who are jurors, your peers, those people would think that business owners are bad and employees are good because the vast majority of people are not business owners. So step one, you want to schedule a weekly accounting meeting to verify purchases. Step two, you want to document all of the issues. Document the issues. Step three, install keystroke recorders. A keystroke recorder is a program that allows you to actually track what people are typing into the computer during the day. Because if you do not do this in the digital age, people will be going online and applying for jobs on your dime. They're going to do it. So you have to install a keystroke recorder. Yeah, I know I'm supposed to do it, but have you done it? The question I have is, are you doing it? Well, I want to do it. Have you actually gone to activetrack.com and installed keystroke recorders for your employees? The next step, step 4, you want to install call recording. I recommend that you use clarityvoice.com. But Clay, it sounds like you're paranoid all the time. I want to trust my employees. You can't trust your employees. Why? Because 75% of people steal from the workplace. So again, we install the keystroke recorders from activetrack.com. Step 4, we install the call recording from clarityvoice.com. Step 5, install GPS systems. Install GPS systems on company vehicles. Why would you do that? Because you want to verify that your employees are actually going to the job site, because usually they're not. When they say they're going to Lowe's to pick up supplies, they're usually going to anywhere but Lowe's. Step 6, you want to install cameras. I recommend the company called Nest. Now, there are other companies that have affordable camera solutions, but I recommend using Nest. It's nest.com. Now you might say, well, Clay, this guy stole money from me, and what do I do? How do I handle it? Well, I'm trying to help you treat the root of the issue, deal with the root, not the fruit. The root of the issue is that most businesses don't have the paranoia required to be successful sustainably. According to the founder of Intel, think about this for a second. Only the paranoid survive. Only the paranoid survive. Now, who said that? Take a guess. It's the founder of Dell, and his name was Andy Grove. Only the paranoid survive. So we have to make sure that we are sufficiently paranoid. If we do not have these systems in place, we will lose time and time again, and we will always find ourselves saying, what do I do? how do I deal with this? What do I say? I'm trying to help you fix this problem forever. So step 1, schedule a weekly accounting meeting to verify purchases. Step 2, document issues. Step 3, install keystroke recorders. I recommend activetrack.com. Step 4, install call recording. Step 5, install GPS systems or on company vehicles. And step 6, install cameras. Again, step 1, schedule a weekly accounting meeting to verify purchases. Step 2, document the issues. Step 3, install keystroke recorders. Step 4, install call recording. Step 5, install GPS systems on company vehicles. Step 6, install cameras. Now, step 7, or kind of our bonus step, is this person obviously is stealing money from you and doesn't have a problem with it, so we need to make sure we tread lightly. We want to gather all of the information. Gather proof that the person is, in fact, using your card for personal purchases, and then document the issues. And then pick a date in the calendar when it is most convenient for you. Pick a date. Is it November 7th, November 8th, January 5th? Choose a date in your calendar that's most convenient for you. Because step 7 is we must conduct a weekly group interview. Conduct a weekly group interview, because he who has the most options wins. So document all the issues, and in your mind determine when you're going to fire this person. And then when you have the most options, when you have a backup, when you have, it might cost you less money to have someone steal from you every week than it would to replace them right now. Think about that. And then choose in your mind when you're going to fire them, and through the process of the group interview, you will find great candidates. There are great people out there. We have great people that I work with on a daily basis, great people like Sean, like Claire, like Harley, like Robert, like Amanda, like Amelia, like Andrew, like Larry, like Felicia. Great people on our team that can be trusted on a daily basis. And these great people are abundantly available if you do the group interview. But if you feel stuck or trapped, you might have to stick around with them for the short term. But do not let the emotions get in the way of the motion you need to take. Don't get emotional about this. Don't not fire them because they're family or friends, and don't fire them immediately because you're so mad. Choose the right time for you to fire this person. So if the question is what to do when you catch your employees stealing from you, my answers to you would be: step 1, schedule a weekly accounting meeting to verify purchases. Step 2, document the issues. Step 3, install keystroke recorders. Step 4, install call recording. Step 5, install GPS systems on company vehicles. Step 6, install the cameras. Step 7, conduct a weekly group interview so that you can fire people when you need to. My name is Clay Clark. I'm a business coach, and I'm going to go swim in the pool with my son. Without any further ado, 3, 2, 1, boom! On today's show, Claire Yinger, the business coach who works at the Leadership Initiative with Mr. Clay Stairs, joins the Thrivetime show to ask Dr. Z about what an ideal day looks like for him, his thoughts on life balance, how to know whether you are a bad manager or whether you just have bad employees, how to hold your employees accountable, Delegation 101, and much, much more.
You have questions? America's #1 business coach has answers. It's your broda from Minnesota. Here's another edition of Ask Clay Anything on the Thrivetime Business Coach Radio Show.
Yes, and yes.
And then another yes.
I've got an issue with the
What's
intro.
the issue?
I've got an issue with the intro.
Hey, by the way, I miss you and your issues. You've been gone a lot recently.
Yeah.
And I've been here.
But I'm back.
Slaving away by the river. We
You
thought
have
we had
been
to
down
evacuate.
by the river.
We evacuate. We bring the stuff back in the whole time, and I just missed you. And
Down by the river.
I miss you because you have that unique ability to it's like there's a scab forming and you pull it off.
Yeah, quickly though.
And I missed that.
Well, and here we
Okay,
go.
okay.
This scab's going to get ready, set. There
Okay.
we go. The intro talks about my broda from Minnesota. And you know what? I think that's a little bit of a misnomer. You spent a hot minute of your life up in Minnesota. percentage of your life? You're 37, 30, at 38. How old are you right now?
39.
Okay, I missed it by a year.
Well, I guess I'm 38. I've mentally anticipated 39. I'm 38. I'm 39.
You're 38. Okay, 38.
Yeah,
Thank you. How many years of those 38 did you live in Minnesota?
Well,
See, we're going to get down to
12 in Oklahoma.
Correct.
Then I moved to Minnesota.
Okay, here's the
Then
deal.
I came back and I was 18.
So 6 years.
Yeah, it was the wilderness years. It was bad.
It's
Winter was
1/6.
coming.
It's not quite 1/6 of your life you spent there, right? Because 6 times 6 would be 36, so 38, so not quite 1/6.
I've always been an Oklahoman at the core.
I know.
But I am from Minnesota.
But I think that
came back from.
I think you just use that because it rhymes with Minnesota, Broda. From Minnesota, I think you relied because Minnesota was easier to rhyme off of than Oklahoma.
No, the rhyme scheme for Oklahoma is easier. We can really get into it.
Well, then why do we
talking
have that
about
one?
stomas and comas and just it could be hot.
Well, I understand that, but I think you're just being a little disingenuous by talking about being a Broda from Minnesota.
If you're out there and you are someone who is offended by today's content, I encourage you to go taser yourself because we got to move on. We got to move on because we have a thriver.
I've said my piece.
She works with Mr. Clay Stairs,
Stamped 3
a great
times.
guy. Let me tell you that this person entered into our lives here. Clay Stairs has been a long-term client. Great guy.
Great guy.
He's the former school teacher turned millionaire guy, claystairs.com. Great guy. And Clay Stairs, he says, I'm thinking about hiring said person. I said, sure. Really? Because the first hire is Sean. And Sean is a great guy, very diligent guy. And I'm going, I don't know. I don't know because, Sean set a pretty high water mark. Sean was like the Great Flood of Tulsa from 86. He's a high water mark.
Oh, yeah.
And he says, I've known this lady for a long time. Met her at Shepherd's Fold Camp. She served as a counselor there at the Metro Christian. Nice lady. And I'm going, I doubt it. And then
sounds too good to be true.
And then we met her, and the team likes her. She's a great lady. She's been a great coach, great consultant. And now she's here on the mic. Claire, welcome onto the show.
Hello.
All right, Claire Yeager, what questions do you have for Dr. Zoellner?
I came so ready and so prepared.
Here we go.
My questions.
I'm a little scared.
So I kind of actually first have a personal question for you.
Okay, lay it on me.
A real day in the life of Dr. Zoellner. What is your actual ideal day?
Waking up, going to the airport, and asking myself, where do I want to go today? And then making sure I pack the appropriate clothes, or if it's make sure I have a credit card to get there. Mm-hmm. And then, no, I'm teasing. My perfect day is, a lot of people ask me what I do. And I tell them, I say, I'm like the old vaudeville act. Are you familiar with vaudeville?
I'm going to go with no.
Okay.
All right, and I'm going to go with a yes. I am aware.
And there was an act which goes something like this. You have a stick, and on top of the stick you have a plate. And what you do is you spin said stick, and it makes the plate spin, and it sits there on top of it. It's like a miracle. It's like a physics miracle. Mm-hmm. And then you go and you get up another stick. You put a plate on it.
No, get out of here. It's like Festivus.
You spin it, and pretty soon you've got like 12 sticks with plates on the stage spinning. And you stand back, and what do? Do you run to the plate that's spinning really well? No. You find the one that's wobbling the most, and what do?
You go and
you hightail it over there, Claire. You hightail it. You know what that means?
Is there a noise for that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
You're sprinting over.
Sonic boom.
Holy cow. And you spin that stick and you get that plate towards back on level ground and spinning again, okay?
Yes.
And that's basically what I do. I own multiple businesses. And every day there's a business out there that the plate's wobbling just a little bit more than the other.
Just
a little bit more. Now I have scheduled things in that vendors and reps and new business ideas and what I'm working on. So like I'm going to open up a new business. I got to meet with the architects and the contractors and the landlords and the former or the future employees, I should say. So I mean, there's a lot of like busy work and starting a new business, which I'm in the midst of right now. And there's also then the constant of balancing the plates with the sticks. And so a lot of my perfect day is all the plates I was getting at. Mm-hmm. All the plates are spinning really well.
Real well. Looking good.
How often do you have a crisis?
A crisis?
How often do you have
something I need to deal with personally? Every day.
How often do you have a crisis that would make the average small business owner cry, but for you, because of your high water mark, You're
Well, I would say
going-
every week, probably
Every week.
probably once a week.
Yeah.
Back in the day, and I used that analogy before. Once the watermark gets up so high, anything lower than that, you're like, that's no big deal.
Right.
We deal with it when it's up here, right? Just kind of like our man cave. Your man cave was at 3 feet of water in it.
It's kind of crazy.
Yeah. And so now anything less than that, you're like, yeah, it's no big deal.
Right.
So I think to answer your question, my perfect day is when all the plates are doing well and I can actually get done my to-do list that I need to get done. I don't have to put anything on hold because I'm having to deal with something I didn't even know was going to be coming up this morning. So I think for me, that's when everything's kind of running the way it's supposed to, the way you assume it's going to run.
Right.
When this is going to sound crazy, Claire, but when everybody's actually doing the job I'm paying them to do.
Are you saying that you
Whoa, time out.
expect people that you are paying to do their job? Are you talking about?
Does that sound mean?
That's
Does that
right.
sound mean?
It sounds like a lot.
I know it does. It sounds like I'm being an ogre. I'm being basically I should paint myself green and put on about 100 pounds.
Claire, does that answer your question?
That does answer my question, which
Okay, good.
actually
Personal
leads
question.
me into my next question.
The trap door.
Leading
Talking
questions.
about how to manage. Okay, so this is coming from a client that one of our coaches works with who's down in Norman, and talking about how to manage the work-life balance when you're working about 80 hours a week.
Oh yeah.
And this is coming from someone who they deliver an A+ product,
Okay.
but they have a hard time of letting go of wanting to deliver a B+ product to have an A+ life. So how is it that you, Dr. Zoellner, what would your advice be about how to do that work-life balance when you're working 80 hours a week?
I have a quick insert I want to editorial.
Insert away.
When Dr. Z was seeing patients, he was just phasing out of doing it. At the time that my wife started working for you in '99, I think you were in there like each location maybe one day a week, but you were managing it, very
Correct.
But I think you were in there once a week in each one, maybe seeing occasional patients just to keep your finger on the pulse,
Correct.
And you were building up to guys like Dr. Boatwright, really good people that could be on your team for over a decade. But you were funny.
Oof.
And people used to talk about how funny you were. And I used to hear stories about your ridiculous, eye chart things you would do and the funny stories and the segues and the way you would greet people. And it was just, you got it down to a show.
Well, you've got to be yourself. And I default to humor. I love humor. I default to humor.
But it was
humor
good.
kind of breaks a lot of tension. A lot of people come to the doctor's office and they're stressed. They're, what is my
Nervous.
prescription? When they're nervous. What's happening here? My vision is so important
What's
to
wrong
me.
with me?
Right.
Yeah.
Is it getting worse? Am I going to go blind?
And you have a great team now, but when you left, and it was like a comedy show meets optometry.
Correct.
And when you left, and the other guys you hired before you built that team you have now, when they were good, they were competent, they were confident, but they weren't funny. And there was one lady who pulled you aside and said, "Hey, I'm really frustrated. I came here to meet Dr. Zoellner." Remember that? And this lady said that she wanted to. She was super happy with Dr. Zoellner and didn't want to see you. Do you remember that? She wanted to see Dr. Zoellner. She didn't want to see you.
Well, they called me down and said there's a Zoellner only in room 2. So I'm like, okay, well, it's a Zoellner only. I'm here. I'll go down and see him, right? So I grabbed the chart, and that's back when we actually had paper charts. It's very old, long ago. So you may not know what paper is, you young kids.
I mean, I was born in the 80s, so
yeah, that's
I
what
got
I'm
it.
saying.
I got it.
Oh, you do remember paper?
Yeah.
Wow,
I was
crazy.
there. Hello.
So I'm flipping through the chart, and as I'm noticing, as I flip through the chart, it's the last doctor that saw her was Dr. Boatwright, Dr. Boatwright, Dr. Boatwright. So I'm getting down about her 4th visit. It's kind of a thick file, and now I'm walking in the room, and didn't think I'd introduce myself, but before I introduced myself, she said, "Oh, no. And I just stopped my track. She goes, "I'm sorry, but this is going to sound, maybe, I don't know how you're going to take this, but I wanted to see Dr. Zoellner, and I requested him." And I said, "Well, I'll go get him." So I walked out of the room, put the chart back in, switched it over to boat ride only. And so anyway, it was funny because Boatwright would always stop at McDonald's on the way to work every morning. And we always give him scrubs. So on the left side of the scrubs said my logo, Dr. Zoellner and Associates. On the right side of the scrubs, it had their name, Dr. Ron C. Boatwright. And I've got 8 doctors that work for me now, and they're all great people. My daughter's one of them, in fact.
She's very funny.
Very funny. Anyway, so he goes to the drive-thru every morning to get his biscuit and whatever from McDonald's, right?
McGriddle.
Yeah, McGriddle, whatever. Sure. Yeah, McRib if they're in season. I mean, that's a big deal, right? And
that is a very big deal.
Thank you. And so he goes through. So towards the person at the window is his left side, and they see they see the logo, which happens to be my name, Dr. Robert Zoellner Associates. So every time he comes through the drive-thru, the lady says, Dr. Zoellner, you're back again. How are you doing? You want your same? Or here's your same thing. So good to see you. And first he'd say, no, I'm not Dr. Zoellner. I'm Dr. Boatwright. He said that. I said, I don't know how many times I said it. And finally he was like, thank you. Okay. He just accepted it.
Yes,
So he became,
yes, I am Dr.
So they've
Zoellner.
all learned to channel just a little bit of Dr. Zoellner.
So when you were delegating off to people that at first weren't quite up to your standard yet because you hadn't trained them yet, you hadn't trained to that level yet, you hadn't built that A-player team you have now, when you had to go down a little bit in that quality during those years, how did you deal with it emotionally?
Well, I think the thing is, to get back to your question, Claire, you always want to make sure, and this is very important, listen to this. You have ears to listen to this. This is going to be hard, but I'm telling you what, for the long-term benefit of your mental health, your financial banking account, your heritage that you leave your grandchildren, you want this. You always want to make sure you're doing whatever you can to put out the A-plus product. When you say to yourself, I'm going to devalue my goods and services so that I can XYZ on the personal side of life, you're really missing the boat on your business. You have to make sure your business is A-plus and running well and doing whatever you can to do that. Now, what happens is, Claire, is that what I see done wrong, it's not the amount of time people are spending with their personal life, i.e. their spouse, i.e. their children, i.e. their siblings, their parents, whoever is pulling on them. It's not the amount of time they're spending with them, but the quality of time anymore. In other words, a guy spends 10 hours at work, hustle, work's going great. Now he pops home. It's about dinner time, right? He pops in for dinner. But at the dinner table, he's got his laptop up because he's expecting an email from a vendor that could come that night.
Right.
He has his phone sitting up on the table because if there's an emergency at the shop, he's getting a phone call, right?
Yes, he is.
And he's over here on this. And now he thought, you know what? She's bringing out dessert right now. I'm going to Google my competitors' website. I haven't checked on them in a while. I'm going to do that. And all the while, his two children are at the table talking about their soccer game that they have this Saturday, and he's not even listening to them.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing that I find so much is that what I tell people is this, is that they go, how do I know when to go home? Because I love working. My business is rocking. I'm doing good. I know it's my future. It's got to have my attention right now.
Yep.
Right.
And I said, you have to do one thing. Listen. Listen to your spouse. Listen to your children. And whenever you get that call of, are you still my dad? Or what do you look like? Or you've had the call.
No, I've had the call. And I will say this, if you're out there listening, just examples of, the McDonald's brothers. People don't know their names, but they actually served every burger for years. And then the idea of scaling caused them to make certain compromises. So the totality of all the parts allowed the quality to stay high, but they couldn't personally serve burgers to that many people. So some said it's not the same as when they used to make the burgers. Some said. But Billion said
it's still pretty good.
Still pretty good, yeah. And so it's not that you're openly trying to devalue your quality. It's saying, like, the elephant in the room, I used to answer all the phones when we first opened. And it's not that, like, I want our calls to be bad. We have a great team now. But I can only answer the phone so many times. So in a way, your ability to serve more people goes up, which I think is an A+. But yeah, it might not be the same jokes as Dr. Zoellner, and you just got to get to a place.
Yeah, it may not be an A+, to be honest, but it may be a solid A.
It might be an A.
But it's unsustainable for me to see every patient that's come in the door. It's unsustainable for Clay to answer every phone call that comes in. Day one, you can.
Although we tried.
Day one, you can.
Yeah.
But it's unsustainable, and so you have to, train up people and get them as close to your DNA as possible. Put as much in as you can, because nobody will care as much as you do about your business. And so, you just have to get as close as you can, and then let them run with it and know that.
So when did you realize that you were ready to let them run with it?
Oh, goodness. Pretty early. I mean, you give up little pieces of it pretty early. And I think that's the thing that some people do. They hang on to it because they do it well. They know it do well. They know they do it like Clay. I promise you this. Nobody answered the phone. Nobody answered the phone better than he did.
Agreed.
At Elephant in the Room. Absolutely. I promise you that. You could put up 100.
I had some pretty funny material for a while.
100 phone answers, and I would put my money on this show.
Absolutely.
It's his business.
Yep.
He wrote the script. He gets it, and he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
And so, that's the kind of guy that's almost impossible to clone, and yet you try to clone him, and you clone him by just like you used to do with your DJs. Here's the script. Copy it, repeat it, Copy it, repeat it. Here's the playlist.
Train,
Just
role
plug
play,
it in.
train, role play,
boom,
over and
over and over and over and over. Call, doot. Hey, can I get? You just role play, and you put people in those scenarios. And so what happens is by default they get pretty good. Maybe they don't have quite the enthusiasm. Maybe they don't have quite the.
I find over time they might actually get better because that's all they're focused on is that thing.
Right.
Might be right.
So at first you kind of go down in quality, but then over time they can surpass you.
Yeah.
It happens a lot. Claire, what other questions do you have for the great, super humble Dr. Robert Zoellner?
So I have a question about management.
Oof.
And this is from a contractor down in Alabama. Alabama.
Terrible.
Okay, so the question is how do you decipher if it's your poor management or you have poor employees?
It's always a little bit of both. No matter how great a manager you are, you're always going to, have a little bit of yourself in there that doesn't need to be in there. And, it's always a little bit of both. I don't care how great a person you are. You're always going to be infallible. You're never going to be perfect.
Absolutely.
And whenever you're dealing with another human being, you're going to find out that they're not perfect. But I'm telling you what, if it's not working out, they go and you don't go.
I got a funny
Right.
story for you about how you. These are kind of a checklist of things we need to do to make sure that you are a good manager. Okay.
Yeah.
And then it's a funny Dr. Zoellner story that I've never talked to you about.
Oh, my.
Please share.
So one, you need to have a checklist for everything possible. Not to the level of ridiculousness, but you want to have a checklist for everything. Get everything out of your head and get the expectations in writing. That would be step one. Okay.
Okay.
If you don't have that, you are a poor manager. If you're just running around giving people verbal traditions, I mean, the Bible's written down. That way it's clear if you're in violation of the 10, commandments or not. I mean, don't run around with having a verbal, that tribal knowledge crap. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, or assuming that people can read your mind, or it's common sense. That's
And
just
two,
crazy.
don't
not a
be the
thing.
person who does. To be a great manager, again, one, have the checklist. Two, always show up. Like, don't be the manager that misses work all the time. See the guy that's just flaky and unreliable.
That's good.
That's an issue. And three is never stop recruiting, because you're going to end up, if you stop recruiting, you're going to end up like just accepting the people that are around. So that would be kind of my checklist. If you're a good manager, if you have the checklist, if you never stop recruiting, and if you do what you say you're going to do. That's like my big three.
The thing about it that gets kind of frustrating is that when you see a manager that is trying to be friends and not a boss.
There we go.
Oh, yeah.
And that's a tough thing, because everybody wants to be liked as a human. I mean, we like to default to,
Right.
Hey, you like me, I like you.
You like
Let's
Ooh,
like
we're
each other.
friends.
Let's go do lunch
Yes.
together. Oh my gosh. What's your Facebook account? Because I want to be friends with you. Everybody wants to be friends, and
Right.
even parents out there today, they want to be friends. Kids need parents. Employees need bosses.
Preach it.
And so a manager has to understand that they're a boss and that they're held at a higher level. And when you look out there and you see a manager that's not living up to their expectations, they're not living up to their potential,
True.
that aren't doing what you're paying them to do,
Right.
and they're out there trying to be buddies with everybody and not trying to make the hard decisions, you got to have a real deep talk with yourself. Is that my guy or my girl going forward,
So here's the story we've not talked about yet on the Thrivetime show. We
Get a story time?
Well, this is
This just in?
my wife worked for you back in the day, and some of friends she went to college with worked there too.
Uh-oh.
And everyone thought this is going to be the hot job.
hot
Dr. Z
job.
pays well. He's a great guy.
He provides their scrubs.
This is going to be awesome. They thought it's going to be a hot job. But what ended up happening was, it turns out you have a nomenclature system. Back in the day when there was paper.
Oh, yeah.
So if Claire came in to get her eye exam, or I came in, you would have it sorted. How was it sorted? How were you supposed to do it?
Alphabetical.
Oh, see, that idea.
It's crazy.
That's the
Back
idea.
in
There's
our
26 letters. They actually come in a
See, that's the idea.
and
now what you're
an
supposed-
order.
You're supposed to actually do that.
It's crazy.
And there was somebody that I knew. We'll just keep it. Won't clarify the gender or anything. It could be transgender. I don't know. Somebody. This person, though, would just play the game of like, let's not do it alphabetically. Now, see what would happen if everyone on your team occasionally saved things, put things, medical records, etc., in the wrong place consistently. You know what would happen?
People would go crazy.
It wouldn't
we would
work.
spend hours trying to find this chart.
And so the
I mean,
rumor
it's just
has
crazy.
it. My understanding is you quit occasional explosions around 98, 99. When was the last time you had a good, like, are you kidding me? When was the last
Good
time?
old fashioned take someone out back and just take them to the woodshed.
The word that I was told was he stopped firing off the cannon at a certain age? When would that be age-based?
I run out of gunpowder probably in the late 90s. I mean,
there was a few people that were around then, and
you got a cannon, but you got no cannonballs and powder. You're just here. What's the point?
But you know what I mean. You made a change, right?
Well, you have to. I mean, I think that as you mature in life, you realize that throwing an absolute fit is not necessarily.
But there might have been a time earlier on where you may have.
Oh, I think you get early on. You're a tad bit more emotionally charged. You're younger. You've got your juices are flowing, as we used to say, Claire.
Real passionate.
Real passionate about that thing, and then you realize, hey, it's going to be okay. And
this person put the thing in the wrong place.
Oh, all the time.
And apparently, a person who was managing the business, who took your spot, was like, "Let me tell you what. If Dr. Z would have seen this back in the day, let me tell you. Let me tell you. What had happened." And it became this big like an epic journey. It was like we're talking about like the Odysseus and the Iliad. It was like a big thing, And so I'm picking my wife up and this person taking him home, and they were like scared about what you used to do.
Wow.
Or what you would have done.
Wow.
Or what. And then they were scared of the way that she spoke and the way she talked. And my wife was all about high and tight, put stuff in the right place. But this person was like, and then she raised her voice and she was getting aggressive and she was just intimidation. And I'm like, so did you put it in the wrong place? Well, yeah, but so I'm just saying but that's you could. But if you didn't have a agreed upon nomenclature system, an organizational system, a checklist, then you couldn't be upset really because there would be no expectation.
Right.
You're right, and the thing about it is management's difficult.
True.
Oh, yeah.
Management is
hardest
difficult.
part.
Because you're not you're not the owner, and so you're charged with taking this person's basically child and raising it when they come in and check in on you every now and then.
Oh yeah.
And it's a challenging thing to be in management. And so, because you're judged upon how good the people underneath you are doing and how well you manage them. And it's a tough deal to inspire people, because there's always the stick or the carrot. And
got to have both, though.
You got to have both, and how to motivate, black hat, white hat, when to write someone up, when not to write them, when to be the good cop, when to be the bad cop.
Sometimes you have to, a lot of times I'll have to know I have to be nice to someone on a Thursday because I got to go off on Monday.
Yeah.
That happened as recently as a couple weeks ago. There's someone who they were really in my doghouse, and I'm going, I got to lay it down on Monday. So I had to be nice, ramping up on Wednesday. Got to get into that nice, with Thursday nice. Got to get that Friday nice. Monday, here it comes. See, I mean, management is tough.
It's tough, and I think one of the keys is that when you get a manager on board and you're going that direction, is to have them physically be around you at first as much as possible. I love the way Clay brings somebody in new. They shadow him and they're around him, and what that really does is saying, "Hey, I really want you to see it." Now in my business, they have a saying, and it's WWZD. What would Z do in that situation? And I've taught them enough. I've been around them enough. I've poured enough of myself into them that for the most part, I would say 99% of the time, they get it right. And I don't have to be there because I've been there enough with them, and they followed me enough. They've seen what I do. They've heard me. I put on speakerphone when a patient calls in all upset, and they're around there listening, and I handle it the way I do, and they're going, "Oh, that's how you handle an upset patient. I'll get it." And so they learn by you doing. You don't want to just hire one and say, I'm headed to Bermuda. I'll see you in 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And take off.
Don't let bad employees train your new employees.
Oh, that's the worst.
So you never stop training.
You never stop training, and you always want to spend time with those managers. You want to make sure people come through those managers. They have problems, and you really want to honor them and give them the authority. But, like I tell them all the time, I'll go up to a manager all the time and say, "Is that employee over there doing the wrong thing?" Yeah. I'm not going to fire them. I'm going to fire you.
Yeah.
Because it's a reflection of you.
And just the other day, Claire, I was asking Z, I said, "Hey, Z, the tough situation here. I feel like I'm handling it good now. I'm not freaking out. Let me tell you the situation." And you as a manager, you have to be the mentor that people can go to. Right. And the moment that your people quit asking those questions, it means you're not a good enough of a manager. They don't come to you. But that would be now. I think we have time for 2 more Claire questions.
Okay.
On the show, 2 more
Claire questions.
2 more Claire questions here on the Thrivetime show.
The Claire questions
of the day.
Okay.
Who aspires to be like Ellen or Oprah in the future?
But not.
Oh, we get it. A talk show.
Nice.
Today show.
Yep.
Shunda.
Okay, so when it comes to finances, so when you first started your optometry clinic, being your own boss, how involved were you with your finances And did you handle that, or did you hand that off to someone else? Why or why not?
I handled it myself. It was very important. First of all, I weren't that busy, so I could handle it. I made all the deposits.
I got
one
time.
customer this month.
I
You
had
got a whole 20.
it's huge. I fill out the deposit slip myself. No, I did it for a while. I did probably for about 6 months. I mean, myself personally. And it was the craziest thing. I actually had a CPA come in and was a patient, became a patient. And he goes, hey, do you have a CPA or account? And I go, no, why the heck do I need one of those? And I was laughing, going, I knew I did. Eventually I was going to get one.
I got time right now.
Yeah.
I don't need that.
I got plenty of time on my hands. And we actually started to get a little bit busier. You start doing a little advertising, start taking care of people. They, word gets out on the street that you're not a complete idiot.
They
start
think
coming
you're
in.
funny.
They'll start
They wanna
coming
see
in.
the show.
Yeah, they want to see the show. I have puppets and, all kinds of, a pony that we're bringing on occasion.
What? This
Oh,
is
yeah.
amazing.
Yeah,
Do
it's
we have
just a
video
puppet.
of this?
No, of course not. I could be a little disingenuous on the pony part.
The pony part.
The pony part.
Could have been
But
just
it's not
pulling
saying
that
I
out of
didn't want to have a pony walk to the office at certain times.
I would not be
Okay.
mad.
Thank you. But
You're welcome.
But he came in and said, hey, let me be your CPA. And so we negotiated a deal and got it down pretty good.
Yeah.
You won't believe this. This is 26 years ago.
Yeah.
He was my CPA for $75 a month. I can say that.
I pay $550 a month per store for Elephant in the Room, I think.
Well, this is today's dollars. This is back in the day. And I was just
For
starting off. I had
26
nothing.
years, you paid that.
No, I didn't. No.
Okay,
I said that's what I started at 26 years ago. I've been in business now 27. So, but anyway, whenever you don't have the time to do it, and you don't want to do it, or you're not good at doing it, then you hire
And
that
you never
out.
delegated knowing the numbers. You delegated someone doing the entering of the data, the bookkeeping, the
correct.
paying
This
of the
was
checks.
a good clarification.
But you never said abdicate. Hey, you go run my
Oh, no.
finances. You
Oh,
always
no.
looked at it.
Oh, yeah.
And you were aware this is how much
Daily.
is in my bank
My office
account.
still texts me daily numbers. So I mean, I still get a daily touch
Every day.
on every day on numbers, on my businesses, what they're doing, and so
And this is from your accountant?
no, this is from my staff. And
Okay.
then I meet with my accounting team once a month to go over numbers. Just last week,
He always knows how much is there.
Always.
How much money's there. You have to know it's your accounting. Don't over. We're not talking about depreciation. I'm not talking about write-offs. I'm not talking about the strategy. I'm talking about you have to know how much cash is in that bank every day. It's the scoreboard.
scoreboard.
You got to know it.
Yeah,
Every day.
exactly.
Yeah.
And not how much should be in there, but how much is in there.
What is your next question, Claire? We have time for one more question. If you're sneaky, you can sneak in a couple more.
So my next question has to do with, this is another finance question from a doctor down in Hotlanta, a.k.a. Atlanta. Okay, so what does an accountant need to actually do for you? Question of, do they do your taxes? Do they do your payroll? Do they handle your insurance? What would you say that your accountant needs to actually be doing for you?
I'm going to go first and let Z pile on and one up me here. One, your accountant, your accountant has to make sure that strategically you are paying the amount of taxes you owe, not less than you owe or more than you owe. And that turns out to be tricky. A lot of accountants want to make sure you pay no taxes to help you out, but then they're not the ones held accountable if you get busted for not paying taxes. Your accountant should make sure you're paying enough taxes, the right amount, not too much, not too little, no editorial, just this is how much you owe. That's one. Two, an effective accountant should make sure that you are looking for they're not loopholes in a bad way, looking for the specific deductions that our Internal Revenue Service has created on after Congress has voted on to stimulate the economy. There are certain tax credits, things that are out there that are designed to get businesses to move to certain cities, to open new offices, to buy real estate. And your accountant should make sure you're using
Or to
all
hire
the
certain
tools.
people. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff.
They need to make sure they're on top of that. And three, they've got to make sure that the numbers are accurate. That is my opinion of what they should be doing. Turns out I see a lot of accountants who are really aggressive with their strategy, putting entrepreneurs in a bad spot. And then 4 years later, when they're not your accountant anymore, you owe a ton of money. That's not good. I see a lot of accountants not being proactive with their clients, not saying, hey, by the way, if you're going to interview 4 people right now, just so you know, there's a tax credit right now. If you hire 4 people in this city as opposed to this one, you can benefit. Or there's no strategy going on. See, I just see a lot of accountants reacting to you and saying, oh, by the way, you owe back taxes, file an extension. That's what an accountant should help you be proactive, but they are not responsible for you collecting money from your clients, setting your prices. That's not what they do. They shouldn't. You can't delegate any math to an accountant. I mean, you can't take the entire math part of your business and say, Mr. Accountant, could you set my prices?
Right.
Mr. Accountant, should I set myself? How much should I pay myself? The accountant is not that. Z, I'll go back to you.
Well, I think there's two levels of accounting, and when I think about it, I think about my internal people that are on my staff. I've got a CPA, almost a CPA, and two other accountants, I would say. So I have an internal team now that does my profit and loss statements, that monitors the day-to-day, that I meet with on a monthly basis, if not more often, and we talk about strategies. We talk about how the businesses are doing. We talk about, hey, what's this costing me? What's that's costing me? Do an analysis of this. What's my, because those prices keep creeping up. I set the price for a pair of glasses, a pair of frames, and that price I may have set 5 years ago, and now guess what?
Oh, yeah.
It's twice as much. I'm still selling it for what I'm selling it for. So they can help pull invoices. I put them on different assignments. I put them on different things internally to look at. And they do help me with, hey, or can we save money on a certain insurance? Can we, call Geico in 15 minutes?
That's your employees, though, full-time staff.
This is my accounting team that works for me.
You pay a salary.
They're W-2 that they work for me.
Just for you.
Then I have an outside firm.
There we go.
That is CPA. We hand them all of our stuff at the end of the year, and he helps you with that deep thinking. He's like the deep sea fisherman. He's the one that says, "Hey, listen, we may need some tax credits this year. I know some tax credits that we can get that are being offered in Oklahoma. They're legal, yes. Are they right? Are they wrong? You can debate that all day, but they're out there. They're available, and it's something that I can get my hands on for X amount of dollars, and it helps defer taxes, or it helps minimize my tax liability." And so he's a guy that I meet with, not every month, but he's a guy that I meet with a couple times a year for the long-term strategic, and he's the one that puts his stamp on our tax returns every year and kind of helps that and make sure that we're being as aggressive as we can without raising too many red flags. That's kind of the game. It's kind of like what raises a red flag, what doesn't. What's the gray zone? Where do we feel comfortable? And you have to be able to find someone at that level that is aggressive enough for you, that's not too aggressive or not aggressive enough. And so, that's a kind of a personal thing. And so you shop those and you meet with those.
Yeah, I was going to say, how would you go about finding the right accountant for you and or CPA?
Well, I think what you do is you get 3 or 4 maybe areas that are in the gray for your business. And you say, hey, listen, I'd like to have 15, 30 minutes of your time. I'm looking for a new CPA. And they'll line up. Trust me, they'll line up. Oh, a new account? Sure,
Mm-hmm.
And so they will show up, and you can ask them a few tough questions and see what they think about it.
Meet with 3.
Yeah.
Meet with 3. Always meet with 3.
Or more.
I'm just telling you, you got to meet with a minimum of 3, because your best friend from high school, your best buddy from college, they might not be that great at their job, even though they are a CPA.
True.
Right, exactly. So
I think we have time for one more
let's do
sneak attack
Why
question
not?
from Claire.
Sneaky. Okay, so this has to do with systems and processes.
Oh, God,
So
my favorite.
What is the most efficient way to make systems and processes?
It sounds crazy, but what you do is you just get a big whiteboard or a big something to write on.
Yep.
And you literally grab your core couple 3 people that are closest to you in the business, that are high ranking in the business. In other words, if you have like 2 VPs, or you've had the president of the company, you have a manager that runs a big area, you get a couple 3 people, not too many, in that room with you.
Yep.
And you get a black erasable felt pen.
Just did this today for the real estate business.
And you've got an eraser in your left hand, and you literally start writing down. What's step 1 in our process of checking in a patient?
Just happened today. Just with the real estate business I work with, Sam Adams Realty, we had a newer real estate agent who was representing a buyer. So not my agent, but they're representing a buyer.
Okay.
And their buyer wanted to buy the house.
Okay, perfect.
So they made the check out to Sam Adams. Well, you got to make the check out to the title company, to the closing company, to the closing company,
right?
Because it goes into escrow, and
right.
Escrow is a third-party account. It doesn't go into my account.
Not yet.
It just goes into a holding account to confirm the deal. We've agreed on the price.
Money's cleared.
We set a closing date. And they wrote the check to me and not to the closing company. Well, I thought to myself, I don't know why they wrote a check to our company. I asked our agent, did you tell him to write it to us? She said, no. I said, okay. Has this happened before? She said, yeah, it's one other time someone did that. I said, okay, well, we need to just move forward. We need to have a checklist for confirming a deal. So step 1.
Because you saw where the problem was, and you're like, oh,
and we whiteboarded it out. We moved it around a bunch, and we thought this step goes first, this goes second. And a whiteboard's so great. You move it around. And Andrew, put a link on how to make a whiteboard for under $100, because you can spend like $1,000 on a huge whiteboard, or you can make one for like $80 by buying a thing called Shower Board, And I'm the shower board king. No one has more shower board than me. It's a great tool. It's very effective.
Do you shower board in your shower?
Do I use shower? No, I put carpet in there.
Oh, that's it. You're all about comfort in the shower. I get it now.
Oh, yeah. Just
that's your time off. That's your time off.
Smells like a wet cat.
Oh, yeah.
It's amazing.
The best
Good
smell
times,
ever.
good times.
Good times.
Does that answer your question?
But this brings up a good question. So when it comes to making your systems and processes, where do you start? Where do you begin? So you just said that you guys were talking about real estate.
I write on the board. I have to get a whiteboard out, and I wrote on there today the issue.
Because it came out of a conversation?
Yeah, anytime you hold people accountable to a certain standard and the standard is not met, I always ask, how could I answer this question one time so I don't have to answer it 1,000 times again?
That's good.
And then I write it down, and I'm going, how did an agent think? If you're a real estate agent, you need to know about escrow. You have to go to class for this, and they should know that they write. But obviously, people don't know.
Right, because you
so,
as the owner, you know.
Yeah, and in photography, we used to have people that would just go to a wedding and take just bizarre photos, and I'm going, how could one possibly think that that's what the photo the bride wanted? No. So I made a checklist of images that the bride that the photographer had to get of the bride. You know, because the bride, we had a photographer one time. I remember this. It was the first kiss. The bride is looking at the groom, the first kiss, and then she took a photo of the mom's reaction and didn't get their first kiss and didn't get the groom seeing the bride for the first time. You always want to get the shot of the bride seeing the groom for the first time.
Absolutely.
That's the money shot.
That is the money shot.
And then the backup shot is the groom's, and she didn't get any of this stuff. And she lives in this esoteric world of hipsterism.
Oh, yeah. Then when he's kissing her, she took a picture of their feet. That's the move, right?
Andrew has seen this. We had one photographer who literally asked the bride. He says to the bride, "Can I see her wedding ring?" She says, "Yeah." He goes, Let me get an awesome photo. It's gonna be." And Andrew was with this guy. He takes the ring, puts it on the limb of a tree that's dangling over a cliff, where if the ring were to fall off of the tree,
screwed.
They would lose the ring forever.
Forever.
And he's like, "Put it right here." Kind of a little bit of wind going. Let me get the photo. Everyone's like, "Are you kidding me?" So you put it on, so you end up putting it on a checklist. So when you train people, you say, a deep rule, a deep thought here, guys. Anything we can do that would ruin the bride's dress or a ring cannot happen.
Cannot happen.
Because we had photographers who were like, "Why don't you guys hold up the wine glasses like you're really excited, but not too excited so it doesn't spill on your dress?" And it spilled on her dress.
Oh, yeah.
The whole thing. And I'm going,
you cannot have that.
And if you're questioning it, maybe just don't.
Yeah, but this common sense is not common, so you got to put it on a checklist.
Definitely
You got to put it on
not
a checklist.
common. No.
And your question for Dr. Zoellner, the Zoellner. Do we have the answer to all your questions?
We have one more.
Okay, well,
Perfect.
this is
Here
it.
we
This is
go.
the final show.
All right.
Final question on the show.
Okay, so this has to do with management again.
Oh,
so when
gosh.
we're talking about doing constructive criticism
Fire 'em all!
and also keeping your team motivated, what are your easy how-tos? What would your suggestion be for a small business owner who's frustrated but wants to motivate to see things happen?
You always want to finish every spank with a pat.
Kick and a hug.
Or some would say kick and hug.
Kicking
Hero sandwich.
carrot and a stick.
Or, yeah,
What'd you
you
say?
want to.
Hero sandwich. You got the bread, you got the meat, and the bread. So it's soft.
Oh, okay,
intense,
good.
soft.
The sandwich technology is where we lost me there.
Okay. I'm gluten free, so that's you're
Me
trying to kill me.
too.
You're trying to kill me now?
No, we
All this
could use
talk of
gluten-free bread.
Oh,
There are
that's-
options.
You're so
Z,
smart.
There's gluten-free pizza.
I know I just had some today at
So
Angelini's.
good.
It's
Oh,
pretty good.
so good.
Yeah,
It's
chewy.
good.
It's
Ooh.
chewy. It's chewy.
So the
chewy.
question is, how do you manage people consistently? How do you do the kick, the hug, the Darth Vader,
Yeah,
Luke
it's
Skywalker?
it's the black hat, white hat. So here's the deal: is that when someone screws up, you got to talk about it, and nobody wants to hear about how they screwed up. And people get embarrassed. They want to make excuses. They want to crawl under a rock. They want to, for heaven's sakes, not be told in front of anybody else they screwed up. Right?
Go on Facebook,
yeah, no,
write
no,
about
no.
it.
Yeah, go on Facebook.
No, I've seen that move a lot recently.
Get the plane to pull the banner. You know,
This is a-
Billy screwed up yesterday as you're doing your company picnic.
Everybody's
you know.
on the beach.
Like,
Yeah,
is that
Billy
See,
so
sucks.
I find that the
Billy's
literal,
worst.
the literal mistakes are very easy to correct. If someone misspells something, they missave something, they mistype something.
Right.
The ones that are hard, and it's about a third of the issues, are the more nefarious ones where they intentionally didn't do something, and they mask it with the three excuses
Oh,
that
yeah.
humanity's come up
Didn't
with.
know about it.
I forgot.
I forgot.
I forgot. There was a miscommunication.
I wasn't sure what to do.
Or there was an emotional, like, I
My dog died last night.
Do you care more about my babies or my checklist?
Yeah.
This is weird.
Those are the 3 every time.
The three every time.
Those are the hardest ones to deal with.
Those are the hardest ones to deal with. But the key is that you need to be a good parent knows when to discipline. A good parent knows when to reward. A good parent knows when to say yes. A good parent knows when to say no. So as an owner of the business, what you have to do is you have to look at it and take a deep breath. And when a manager or an employee does something wrong, you have to come in and correct them. And the more you can do that in love and not anger, and I know that's easy to say, so sometimes you may have to do the old count to 10 before you say anything, or go in the room and kick your dog or something.
Whoa!
Sorry, Peter, that we do not promote the kicking of dogs.
You're referring to a stuffed animal.
It's stuffed animal.
In the shape of a
really
dog.
a dog. Not really a dog. Thank you, SPCA.
And actually, you weren't
Really
even,
gonna bring it in.
you were reading the cue card that Andrew left for you. How dare you?
I know.
You're just reading the cue card.
Andrew.
Peter, when you raid
on your
raid
side.
the facility, his name's A-N-D-R-E-W.
You made my wife cry right there. When you said kick the dog, immediately there's tears.
But my point is, get your act together, then talk to them. But then I think it's also the more difficult the conversation is for obvious reasons. Like Clay was saying, some of the easy stuff is easy. So you say, "Come into my office, my son. You've done a really great job of copying this verse. But verse has an S and not a C in it."
I should write that down. Down has an M in it, right? An M or an N? Is an M and N? Is the M silent?
Just stop. You're hurting my ears right now, son. You're hurting my ears. So what we're gonna do now is, you see the stick over here? That's right. Put out your hand. I'm going to flog your hand now 12 times. Ah! Thank you. I have another.
Shunda.
Oh my gosh.
There's a certain amount of tough love that you have to do, and you have to.
Right.
You can't pussyfoot around it. You have to be to the point. Here's what I expect. If you didn't know that, and they're gonna try to drop one of those 3 excuses on you, or they just may man up and say, "You know what? You're right. I'm sorry. I'll do better next time," and rock on with it. But I think sometimes the more that some people handle criticism better than others, some people handle correction better than others, and some it really just, you can just see it destroying them. You can see it just deflating them. You can see it really zapping the life out of them. And if you're
never
paying attention,
Never
you can see it.
criticize something that they can't control, by the way. That's a bad boss.
Yeah.
I see people go, "Hey, Mark, your haircut sucks."
Well, they can't control that.
No, but I'm
They're
saying,
in the room.
if it's the shape of his head.
Okay, that's the thing.
I'm serious. I see people criticizing people like, "Hey, I hate your laugh." Well, they can't fix that.
They can't fix that.
You
right.
don't want to criticize people for
Don't make
crap
it
they
personal.
can't fix.
You don't make it personal. It's the
Don't do
job.
that.
Doing the
Come
job.
on.
But then the more that you see them kind of shrinking, then when you're done with that, then you have to give them a little positive mojo. You got to give them a little love.
You mean you don't like when I blow into this container?
I only like it when you make like a deep sound of a
You don't like when I do that?
I do like it actually.
Oh, really? I thought you said. I'm sorry. I was offended. I'll just go back to doing it then.
There you go.
I'm your newest
You
employee.
should do that the whole
I'm here to
show.
haunt you.
Yes.
We're all hired.
You got to give them a little love. You got to maybe tell them some things they did right. You've got to give them a win of the week. You've got to give them something that encourages them and edifies them and pumps them and builds them up, because you're a coach, and a coach is a difficult thing. You got to correct the play they did wrong.
Correct.
Also, though, keeping them in the game, keeping their mind focused, and letting them know the game's not over.
Game's not
We
over,
still
Billy.
need you.
Come on, Billy.
Still need you.
Stay in there.
I need my guy. I
Come
need
on,
my
Bill.
guy.
Come on, Bill.
You're
Billy.
hired. You're my guy for a reason, Billy. And I need you over here. You're doing great in this area, this area, this area, this area. Keep up the good work. Let's just make a little minor correction over here, and let's rock on with it, okay, Billy? And rock on with it.
It's good.
Are you
It's
mad?
good.
Are you mad?
The kick and hug.
Okay.
The spanking. What did I say? Spank. Mine was a.
I think you said
spank. Mine's a slap and a
slap-
hug.
I think you said
No, mine's a slap and a pat.
slap and
Slap
maim.
and a pat. That's
Slap
what
and
you
a
You
said.
always
pat.
taught me the slap and a maim method, and for years I was doing it. You said, no, I meant kick and hug. I'm like, oh, I've been slapping and maiming people. That's why it always gets
You know,
weird.
I kind of kill his attendant, and then he pushes the ball off to the right. He'll give up the game.
Well, see, I think it's now time to end the show with a boom. Are you psychologically ready?
You know what? I'm a little spent.
Claire,
I feel a little spent.
Claire, are you ready?
I felt
He's
Claire
spent,
came in
but are
hot.
you ready?
I am prepared.
Okay, now without any further ado, 3, 2, 1, boom! Yes, Thrive Nation, welcome back to the Thrivetime Show on your radio and podcast download. My name is Clay Clark. I'm the father of 5 incredible humans. And my wife is just a gorgeous, wonderful lady, and I'm a man bear pig, and so I've won the game of life. I got a great wife, great businesses, and the trade-off. You see the trade-off of that. This is the trade-off. The thing. It's the trade-off. No one wants to talk about the trade-off, but the trade-off is the thing. See, I had to get up this morning at 3 a.m. You see, so what I did is I got up at 3 a.m. so that I can end my day at 2 p.m.
Bam.
And the reason why I have a great wife is because I trick her into staying married to me every day.
But it's good that you can't see as well. That helps.
Yeah, well, because Z is such a nice guy. A partner.
He refuses.
He refuses to give her the correct diagnosis.
He gives her the opposite glasses.
Prescription. So she might be seeing 20/20. He'll say, well, let me give you those 2100 contacts and see. No, but seriously, it's a process that you must go through if you're going to be a successful entrepreneur, of embracing the trade-offs. You see, freedom isn't free. And you see, check this out. This is huge. Those who cannot self-discipline themselves must be disciplined from the market, from the legal system, from the mortgage company,
from the boss.
These are all things that happen. And so, Jeff, we have a question that was asked from a Thriver, and I want to tell everybody what we're going to be talking about here, but I want to make sure you're getting this. No matter what we're teaching you to do, if you don't do it, it won't work. Nothing works unless you do, to quote Maya Angelou.
That's true.
Nothing works unless you do, to quote Maya Angelou. That's the best-selling poet, author. Now, Chuck, what are we talking about?
We're going to be talking about how to create an employee experience that inspires and retains quality employees.
Okay, I'm going to walk you through the steps of how to do this. And this is big, but I want to make sure that everybody listening to the show here, that you would take notes on this, because if you don't, we're going to lose here. I'm going to read the notable quotables, and Chuck's going to break down what to do with it, okay? Reid Hoffman, this is the founder of LinkedIn, one of the founding partners of PayPal, and the venture capitalist partner behind Greylock Partners, writes, one of the challenges of running a startup is solving critical short-term problems without neglecting long-term ones. Recruiting is a long-term problem. It's almost never the answer to the problem of the month. Clearly, you need to have the right talent on board, but it's not like to solve the key problems your business is facing right now. Yet the longer you wait to do the long-term things, hire good people, the more likely it is that you're going to die from something that requires a longer time frame to be solved. Chuck, you've got to constantly interview. Why do you have to constantly be recruiting people forever?
If you're not constantly interviewing, that employee, that unicorn employee, that person that you've been looking for years possibly, if you're not hiring the week that they get fed up with their boss or whatever reason they decide to move on, they're not going to find you. You're not going to find them. Then
you have to schedule, step 2, schedule a weekly time for your team meeting with your team.
Right.
You got to have a weekly meeting with your team. For your weekly level 10 meeting. It's called a level 10 meeting. It's taught from Gino Wickman's book called Traction. He calls it the EOS, the Entrepreneur's Operating System. This is how you do it. I'm going to tell you how to do the meeting, okay? So this is what you do. What you do is you say, 1, we start the meeting on time.
That's a big one.
Then you report. Everyone has to report what they did, because everyone's held accountable, and everyone has to be in the meeting. You can't do it via email.
I got a question on this. Okay. What if you got somebody out there and maybe that all of their staff doesn't work every single day, Clay?
Make them all work on that one same day.
Say it again. What do you do?
Make them all work on that one same day.
Gotta make it happen.
I pay, just so you know, we have a Thrive Coaches meeting every day at 6 a.m. And everyone who's there, last time I checked, gets paychecks. So I thought about it with Vanessa, because we've thought about this. And we on average, it costs me about $1,000 to do that meeting that I do every day. That's $4,000 a week I spend on training the team.
Right. That's the team you need to train.
Right. So then reporting. You got to hold people accountable for their numbers every week. Okay, so you start on time, hold the team accountable. 3rd, you want to identify problems. 4th, discuss the problems. This is all in the show notes, by the way. You discuss the problems. 5, you solve the problems. Then you assign the to-do list. So who needs to do it, what needs to be done, and when is the action item supposed to be done. Now, this is the part where people get it twisted. You don't ever talk to your teammates again during the rest of the week, because they now know what to do. They know who needs to do it, and you don't see them again until the next week.
I got to jump in right here as well. I'm going to keep jumping. It's like a trampoline in here.
Jumping.
Make you want to jump.
Oh, Chup makes you want to.
Chupster will make you want to
jump.
Okay, when you're running this meeting, you cannot wait a day or 2 or whatever to put these items on the to-do list. You've got to take these action items and either assign to somebody to put them on that to-do list immediately or do it yourself immediately. Do not let this drift, because the next thing you know, it's 4 days past the meeting, it hasn't gone on anybody's to-do list, and it's not going to get done.
So you bring all your team together at one time, everybody. You bring them to that meeting. Then you hold them accountable and you assign the items in that meeting, and you say, I'm not going to speak to you again.
Not
at all until next week. So are there any questions you have that would prevent you from getting this done? They have ample opportunity to do that then, but they cannot call you after that, because if they did need to call you, then you would have to micromanage them, which would cause you to be insane over time. So what you want to do is people that do need to be micromanaged, you do need to micromanage them until you can replace the face. So now the notable quotable from Elon Musk. He says, I find it remarkable that I can explain the reality of a situation to people and still not change their point of view. The facts are very plain and the reasoning is very clear, but they still won't agree with the conclusion. It's crazy. Rather than learn from their experiences, they choose instead to engage in wishful thinking. Perhaps it's more comfortable than reality, but I think that wishful thinking is one of the most profound human failings. The major reason that people adhere so strongly to wrong ideas. This doesn't mean that you can't be optimistic. You simply have to be realistic as well. This is the guy who built PayPal, Tesla, SpaceX, Solar City. He just is saying, if you have the meeting next week and they didn't get the action item done, you would say, okay, so I would say this in a meeting. I say these things. I would say, okay, so you didn't do the item. Okay. Last week, you knew what to do, right? Okay, cool. All right. And that's what I would say. And then the silence would be deafening. And then as soon as the meeting's over, I pull them aside, usually when it's myself and one other person. If it's a female, it's always me and someone else. If it's a dude, it'll be, me directly. And I say, here's the deal. You didn't do your action item. And there's like a few excuses that I don't tolerate. And one is saying I didn't know what to do. 2 is saying there was a miscommunication. And 3 was saying I forgot. And so henceforth, that can't happen anymore. And so what happens is you just follow up, and those uncomfortable conversations are what drives the growth. And over time, people don't want to have the uncomfortable conversations, and so they begin to do what's needed. And so Tony Hsieh with Zappos chimes in. He writes, being successful is just about doing whatever it takes to get stuff done. In the early days of Zappos, we did everything. If we had 100 orders that needed to go out, everybody stayed late at night packing boxes and chipping in. This is true for all of us, not just for me.
People get that wrong so many times. I see working with different clients is that they're the ones whose schedule's just getting torn apart. Because
you're the owner working your butt off.
Right.
You tell them, hey, if you want this job, you have to do what it takes. And if you don't want to do it, then you don't work here.
Exactly.
So then you got to schedule time in your calendar, a different meeting than this meeting. This is a different meeting. This is a second meeting.
Oh, my gosh.
And every week you schedule a meeting to teach your team how life works. So you actually have to motivate and inspire the people. John Maxwell chimes in. He writes, the heart comes before the head. John Maxwell, leadership expert, the author of 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. He writes, the heart comes before the head. I would say management today is mentorship. You must invest the best of yourself in training your team of people. People have to know that you really do care about them, or they're not going to care about doing their jobs correctly. So I don't care how much they know what to do. If they don't feel like you sincerely give a crap, then they won't do it. So what you have to do, Home Skillet, is you got to schedule a time to meet with the people, to hold them accountable. That's meeting number 1. Meeting number 2, though, is to motivate. And let me tell you what. Sometimes you have to have a motivational meeting when you're not motivated yourself.
True. And if your team's not motivated, it will transfer through to the customer. I just want to let you know, they will pick up on that.
So here's the deal. Chup, you see me each week do those meetings every day at 6 a.m.?
Yeah.
Can you talk about those meetings and what that looks like for people that maybe have not been to our meetings?
Well, first of all, it's every day, right? It's consistent.
Every day.
We go over any questions that we have for any clients so that it's a learning opportunity for everyone. You don't have to repeat yourself.
What time do I show up for that meeting?
Right as it starts.
You notice I'm right as it starts or right after?
Like right as it starts, yeah.
I do on purpose because I don't want to see anybody before that meeting.
Yeah.
Because I want the meeting to get started with John, and I want to come in with a blasty blast of phantasmagoria. And I don't want any negativity getting on me. No negative waves, baby. Then I peace out.
Can't happen. These ready. On to the day.
So that's how it works. You got to do it. So, Chup, for somebody out there who's saying, I cannot find the time to shoot this video on my website for, recruiting new people. I can't find the time to have the weekly training meeting. I can't find the time to hold my team accountable. I can't find time for these 2 meetings. What would you say?
Start saying no to things that don't matter. If it's not one of your F6 goals, if it doesn't help you make more money, if it doesn't help grow the business, put it through that filter. You've got to say no to it if you're passionate about your business.
You know, Eric Chubb, business coach, I don't know if you're aware of this, but I like to end the show with a 3.
What?
And a 2. And a 1. Then I put the little boom after it.
Oh, okay.
So you ready to do it?
I'm ready.
Here we go. 3,
2, 1, boom!
Broadcasting live from the center of the universe. It's Business School Without the BS. Featuring optometrist turned entrepreneur, Dr. Robert Zoellner, with USSBA Entrepreneur of the Year, Clay Clark.
It is the Thrivetime Show. Let your boom begin. Where we drop knowledge bombs for you in Portland. Teaching and proven systems to make your ends. So you can produce the greenery like all the Oregon. Sue will call you Franklin cause you got Benjamins. We'll call you Ben Pearl cause you just bought a Benz. And then you'll be bragging to your wife and kids that your wallet's overweight, but it used to be thin. Comes away, this is Clay broadcasting with the Zen, with the focus locked in like San Quentin. Can I get a B to the O to the M? You've heard the rumors, he is I and I is him. He be the Z and I be the C. Now it's teaching business skills from Clay to Z. We both grew up poor, but we're poor no more. The goal of the show is to help you soar. All right, Thrive Nation, welcome back to the Thrive Time Show on your radio. Now, today's show is going to be a little bit interesting, but in that, Chubb, it's going to be a different format than we've ever had in the past. We're going to have a lot of guests on the same show.
Let's do it. Oh, my gosh.
And so here's where the idea came from. We have had a lot of business owners reach out to us, a lot. When I say a lot, pretty much everybody who's attended the workshop at some point or another wants to know how to manage people. It seems like that is a huge, I don't know, as a business coach, if you see that, but it feels like that is, I feel like there's three big issues, 3 big superpowers. We talked about it yesterday, but 3 big superpowers that you have to grow a successful company. That first superpower is you must sell a product or service that people want. So that's step 1. So if you have to sell something like carpet cleaning, haircuts, products that somebody wants, burritos. You have to find a need and fill it. You got to find a need and solve the problem. You got to find the problem and solve it. But then the second issue is you have to be able to market that thing. So once you have a product that people actually want, you got to be able to market that. Now those first 2 steps in our coaching program, from my experience, from my opinion, those are the 2 easiest aspects of running a business. But the third aspect where a lot of business owners get stuck, and I would say pretty much all business owners get stuck, is they get stuck at a place where they don't know how to find good people and to manage good people. Managing people, it seems like almost an impossible task to some people until they know the proven system. Would you agree that managing people and finding good people is the hardest challenge for most business owners?
Judging by my past experience with my parents' company, for them, for myself, and every single client that I've worked with, this is the hardest part about running a business.
Why?
Because people are people. People have their problems. People have their issues. They're unpredictable. You don't know when somebody's going to quit. You don't know when they're going to be late. You don't know what their attitude is going to be a year from now. And so you pour into them, and it's really stressful and really draining on a business owner when it's just managing people, man. It's hard.
So think about this. If you've ever been married, I've been married now for 17 years. If you've ever been married, if you are married, if you've been married, if you know somebody who was married, if you ever were a kid, if you've ever been around adults, if you've been on the planet for any amount of time at all, you'll notice how hard it is to maintain a positive relationship with people. It requires work. And just like a garden, you've got to tend to that garden. And so what we're going to do today is I'm going to be playing audio excerpts. We interviewed the members of our team, and our videographers asked them essentially, what's it like from your perspective to actually work for me? We asked them, like, and the idea was we had 2 or 3 employees that actually came up to me and said, hey, I know a lot of times on Glassdoor or Google, places like that, people will say that you're a bad boss. And I think it's because you have a radio show and you're in front of a lot of people, but I've worked here for years and I like it. So if I could share my experience, I'd like to share what I perceive to be the good part and the hard part of working for you. And I had like 3 people come up to me and ask me, I thought, you know what, let's interview the whole team. So we interviewed a lot of the team members, and so without any further ado, this is one of our managers of one of the call centers, a lady by the name of Daisy.
Shout
and this
out.
is her experience of working with me. So working with Clay Clark at the Thrivetime Show. Without any further ado, our exclusive interview with Daisy about what it's like to work for a man bear pig by the name of Clay Clark.
Yes, my name is Daisy Capehart, and I've known Clay for roughly 7 months. So I am the call center manager for Elephant in the Room, which Clay co-owns and coaches on a weekly basis. Clay has been awesome. I would say he is my GOAT, my greatest of all time. He's been a really solid mentor. I've learned a lot of information about how to be a better leader in a very short amount of time. Since working with Clay, I have definitely learned a lot about how to be a better leader, how to be a more solid manager, how to motivate my team, empower my team, how to hold my team accountable, and also how to help them bring that enthusiasm that makes our work culture so awesome. If you don't know Clay, he's very straightforward. He's no BS, but he's also hilarious. So he's got the best parts of a personality that you could want in a boss and a mentor and a person. I think people who are driven, they're motivated. I think the kind of teammates that would like working with Clay want success. They're motivated.
America's
they're passionate.
Business coach
They're also
has
really
answers.
fun.
It's your Broda
they
from
work hard and they play
Minnesota.
hard.
Here's
I would say
another
Clay's
edition
passion
of
for helping
Ask
business
Clay
owners grow their
Anything
business
on the
is
Thrivetime Business
overwhelming.
Coach radio
He really
show.
does bring that optimistic momentum to every day. There is never a shortage of information that he shares with everybody.
All right,
always
Thrive Nation,
has
on
a
today's
really
show,
funny story
unfortunately, we're
or
going
some kind of
to
parable to go along with the
answer
things
a
that he's
question
teaching.
that I get asked
and
by at
he
least
has
75%
so many
of
coaching
my
moments
clients.
that just come
That
out of
is right. I
ordinary
get
everyday
asked
situations.
this question by at least
and I
75%
think that really
of
shines
my
through
clients.
just in his day-to-day interactions with
Why,
everybody.
you might
Clay's
ask? Well,
management
it's because the
style
U.S. Chamber of
is not
Commerce
for everyone,
teamed up
and the
with
reason why I say
CBS
that is
News
because
to do some
he holds
in-depth
people
research,
accountable,
and they found that
and I think not many people are used to
they
being held
found
accountable.
that
However, if you want to
75%
be
of
successful, if
American
you want to
employees
win,
admit
if you
to
want for your
stealing
dreams and your
from the
passions to come true,
workplace. In
you
fact,
have to be held
most
accountable.
do so repeatedly.
And
Again,
I think
in
that
fact,
Clay does an
most
awesome
do
job
so
about that. But again, it's not for everybody.
So what do you do
will
when
not
you
like
catch your
working with
employees
Clay if
stealing from
you don't like
Today's
being made to
guest,
do your job.
today's question,
if you are not
comes
results
from a home
driven,
builder
if
who writes,
you are not passionate,
what would you
or if
do
you don't
if you
have
were
an
to find
aim
out
in
your
life, you're just
employee
kind of
has been
floating
stealing
around.
money from you
But
by using the company
you will
credit
love
card
Clay
for
if you
personal
are the opposite of
expenses?
that and want
How
that
would you
success.
respond
You want to
and
make your
react?
dreams come true and
Well, let me tell you how I
and
want to respond.
get the results that you want. I think
I would
Clay
like to,
loves his turkeys, chickens, and cats so
attack
much
them
because they
personally.
provide him endless
I would
entertainment.
like to
My advice
threaten
for
them.
anybody who's
I
about to
would
meet
like
Clay
to
would be you're going to want
off.
a notebook, something to
However,
write with,
the
a
legal
pen,
system,
and
as well as the world we
prepare
live
to get
in,
a lot of information
allows
that's going to
people
help you
to
be
go on
successful.
Glassdoor
You
and
will
write
definitely
whatever
be
they
enlightened.
perceive to be true, and people accept it to be true.
All right, so
The
that
world
was an
allows people to
interview
go on
there
to
with
Facebook and write
Daisy,
what
the
they
call
believe
center
to
manager. And I would
be
just say this,
true or
Chuck,
perceived to
from
be
my
true or
perspective,
lying about.
again, managing
And then
people
most
is the
people who are
hardest
not
part
business owners
of
because
running
again
a company.
in our
There's a
American
notable
population,
quote
think about
by
this.
Steve
There are
Jobs,
330
the
million
co-founder of
Americans.
Apple,
And what
the
percentage
guy
of
who actually
Americans
took over
actually
Pixar
started a
after
business?
George Lucas went through
It's
a
less than
divorce
10%,
and
according
took
to
the
the
company,
Small
made it very
Business
successful, then came
Administration. So
back and took over as the
Less
CEO
than 10% of the people on
Apple
Facebook,
before he
on
passed away.
Glassdoor
But Steve
are
Jobs
employers,
wrote, "Be a yardstick
and therefore
of
when
quality."
they read the comments
Some
or the
people aren't
reviews or
used
the way you
to an
handle it, they will
environment
think, "What's
where
your
excellence
problem? You need to calm
is
down."
expected. So
But
let me
when
just
your
give
life,
an example
when you're
of
very,
why
when your very
I believe
livelihood,
management
when
is
your
so hard as it
golden
relates
goose,
to this
when
quote.
your money tree is being
Chuck,
attacked,
let's say
I get it.
you and I are
I
good buddies with a
understand
third party.
how
Okay? So you and I are
scary
buddies
it
with
can
some
be
guy
when
named
you
Doug.
watch somebody who
and
you've
so you and
trusted
I are grilling
steal
meat. Right,
money from
and it has to do.
I will
with,
list off for you, Mr.
We're
Listener,
doing it
Mr.
for
Home
the
Builder,
purposes of
several of the bad
work.
things that have happened to me.
So we're
back in the day, I
grilling
interviewed
meat, but we
somebody
happen to
to
be
work
buddies
for me.
with Doug. Right,
They did a good job
when we're
during the
grilling
interview,
meat for the purposes
and
of
they
being
did a good
buddies,
job
like in our
shadowing me.
backyard.
And then
If
systemically, when
I
I ran DJconnection.com,
the
they
meat.
would
I do a poor
actually
job,
steal
so I
customers.
overcook it.
If
So
we're
the phone would
buddies,
ring and they would say,
what's
pretty much the
they'd
man
go on
law.
DJ
How do you handle
Connection,
the
how can I help you?
situation if the
And
three
the
of us are
customer would
cooking
say,
meat and I
"Are you guys
overcook
available
the
on
meet,
June 6th?"
but we're just buddies?
And they
What do you
would
do?
say,
I just make
"No,
fun of you.
we're not.
Right.
But I
Make
have
fun
a
of your
great
grilling
recommendation
skills
for
and
you."
lack of grilling
And they would
prowess.
recommend
So you would just kind of
themselves.
joke about it,
Yeah.
and they would do that
And then
every
we'd
third
probably
to
still eat
fourth
it.
week.
Right.
And that was
let's
also
say
the,
that we're
the
grilling buddies.
weekends
We're
that they
making
were
we're
requesting
making
off,
meat.
and
We're
so they
grilling
were
meat for the
using
purposes
my
again of fun.
marketing
and we
system, my
drop
marketing
a
machine
piece
to
of
create
steak
leads for themselves.
onto the concrete.
I have had
and it
family
falls
members
there for
steal
maybe a
in
second or two.
excess
What
of
is man law? How do we handle it?
We pick that thing
$5,000
up,
of
we
cash
dust it
from
off
me.
slightly,
Family
right, we
members
throw it right back. Cook
in
that
one
stuff.
buck.
You cook it off. Throw it back on.
Exactly. It's man law. It's
I've had
it's the
family
10-second
members
rule.
Right.
take
Now
money
let's
from
say
me and buy a
let's say we're
truck
grilling meat and no
using
one's
company
around, and
money
just me.
without
I'm grilling
asking
meat,
a large
and I drop the meat on the ground and I overcook
had
it. And
family
it falls on
members
the ground. How
date
long can it be on the ground before
employees
it's
of
like
mine while being
almost an ethical faux
married?
pas to pick
Think
that thing
about
up and eat it?
Think about that.
As long as
What
it
it'd be
hasn't
like
gone rotten
to
yet
be
on the ground.
approached.
Right.
Imagine you're a
Throw
female
it back on the grill.
Now, in
working
the
in a
purposes
company,
of work,
and you're
right? Because
approached
you've worked in a
by
restaurant
I
before.
have,
family member
If
of
we're
the
cooking
owner
food and we
to have
drop
a
the food on the
relationship,
ground,
and
what
you
is the ethical
are-
code there?
You pick it up, finish cooking it, and
What
eat
are
it
you gonna do?
yourself
I've had
later.
that
and cook a
happen.
new thing
I have
for the
had,
restaurant.
I have
For the
had
customer.
right. situations
Right.
where I have
Or
worked
you
with
throw
churches.
it away.
Right, that would be what
And I
most
have
people would do.
seen,
I would probably eat it,
a
but
church.
All
I've
I'm
discovered
saying
that a
is
get a
church
new one for the customer.
It's a
had
different
almost
level of
$7,000 to $8,000
expectation
a month.
Absolutely.
They
when you're
couldn't
dealing
account
with friends than when you're
for.
dealing
we
with
looked
work.
into it, we
Right.
found
So now
out
the
that
three of us go to our
daughter
jobs,
of the pastor
and I
was
overcook the
using
meat, and you're my
church's
boss,
credit
Yeah.
card
and you're my
to
boss,
finance
and I work for
a
you. We're
swagalicious
still
lifestyle
buddies. We
to
were
the
just
tune of
grilling
over
yesterday for
$100,000
fun.
Right.
So now we're grilling
Think about
for compensation.
I have had
for pay.
so
and if I
many
overcook the meat, what are you going to have to
situations
say to
where
me if I
crazy
do it
stuff
twice?
Well,
So
we're
what I
going to
wanna
have to
help
talk
you do is
about
I wanna
why
help
this
you
keeps
run into a
happening.
situation when
And
this
if
never
it can't
happens
stop
again.
happening, then this is the
So
wrong seat
step
on the bus for
one,
you,
and
and
I
maybe
hope
we'll try
you're
to find
taking
somewhere
notes
else.
because
Or what if
I
we're good
am.
buddies, though? We've been
Step
good buddies
one,
since
that's
college, right?
schedule
That's
a
the hard part
weekly,
for
And I
some
keep
people.
weekly,
Yeah.
schedule a weekly
cooking the meat.
accounting.
That's the hard part.
I'm not
We're
stealing.
scheduling
I'm
a
not
weekly
lying. I'm
accounting
not. I
meeting
show up on time.
where you're going to
but
look
I
at
just
the numbers
overcook the meat.
and you're going
and
to
I'm your very
verify
good friend
that
from
what was
college.
purchased
I keep
was
doing it.
actually
Eventually, what's
purchased
going to have
for
to
the
happen?
company.
Eventually,
you
you'll
have to
have to be
schedule a
fired.
weekly accounting
Eventually.
meeting to verify.
Think about that.
I know. That's
And that
purchases
right there,
is the
I
hard
think,
You have to do that.
is
you cannot
the hard
abdicate.
part. It's
You
because
have
in
to
personal
delegate.
situations,
you need to
you just
schedule
let
a
your
weekly
buddy
meeting
overcook the meat.
to
Well,
look
and the
at
problem is,
purchases.
especially for small business
I
owners,
personally have
it's
chosen
hard to not become buddies
for
with
my
people, even
personal
if you don't
health
have
to
a big
occur
history
on
because you spend so
Fridays.
much
So on
time. You're so
Fridays,
close to
that's
each
when
other.
I discovered
Right, and see,
people
that
taking my
is the
cards
hard
and using
part
and
of
abusing
managing
them.
people.
And this
Oh, yeah.
happens
And we come back, we have an
because
interview with somebody who's been on my team for
75%
5
of employees
years.
do.
What? 5 years. And
Steal
great person
from the
great
workplace, and
teammate.
most do so
And she actually
repeatedly,
worked
according
with me
to
with
the
a
US Chamber
company
of
called
Commerce and
Epic
CBS
Photography.
News. Now,
Right.
according to
I
my
found
personal
her
experience,
when she was a
I
graphic
think
designer,
the number is higher.
and she had never done
But step
photography
one,
in her life.
you want to
But I
schedule
liked
a
her
weekly
character.
meeting to
I thought she had
verify
great character,
purchases.
had great coachability.
Every
so I
week at the
hired her,
same
just
time
like I do
every
with
week.
all of the
Now,
photographers that I
step
found.
two-
Epic Photography.
step two
I pretty much
is you
only
want to
recruited people that had never been
document
photographers before.
I can
issues.
vouch for this. I saw this process.
Because the way
But
the world
we won
works
all
is,
the awards.
again,
we
what
won every.
percentage of
If you
people
go to
actually start a company?
epicphotos.com, you'll see we won awards every
9%, right.
single.
Only 9% of our
year. We won
population
awards
will ever,
from the
will ever
Not.com,
start a
which is
company.
kind of like the Wedding
Now, according
Better
to
Business
Forbes,
Bureau.
9 out of 10
every
businesses
year, winning,
will
winning,
fail.
winning,
So
winning
if we're
awards.
math
We're also
wizards,
winning
we would
financially, success.
determine that
because I would
less
hire
than
people with good
1% of
character
people
and then
actually
train them
ever
the
start a
skills.
successful company.
So we come back
So
from the break.
therefore, if
We're
we
going to
were
be
to take
doing
this
an
into
interview
court
with
of any kind at all,
Felicia, one of our
the vast
long-term,
majority of
one of our
people who
longtime
are
teammates,
jurors,
who after I
your
sold Epic
peers,
Photography,
those
she
people
reached
would
out to me and
think
wanted to know
that
if she could come work
business owners
for me
are
again.
bad
And she said it doesn't
and
really matter
employees are good because
what
the vast
business.
majority of
I would
people
just
are
like
not
to come
business
work
owners. So
for
step
you
one,
and
you
your
want to
wife
schedule
again.
a weekly
So we come back,
accounting
we're going to
meeting
talk
to
about
verify purchases.
what it's like to
Step
manage
two, you want to
people. And we're going to continue
all of
interviewing
the issues.
members of our
Document
team so you can hear from their
the
firsthand
issues.
experience
Step
what it's
three,
like to work
install
with us. Now, I'll tell
key
you this. I know what it's like from a
recorders.
first-hand experience
A
to work with a
keystroke recorder
janitorial service that
is
actually
a
keeps our
program
bathroom
that allows
clean.
you to actually
We've had
track
janitorial
what
services in
people
the
are
past that
tra-
were
are
not
typing
able to keep
into
the
the
bathroom clean.
computer
Yet that is
during
their
the
core
day.
competency.
Because
So we
if
decided
you
to make
do
the
not
switch
do
and use a
this in
company
the
called
digital
Classic
age, people will
Janitorial.
be,
Now, Classic Janitorial
going
is
online
the
and applying for
janitorial service of
jobs
choice for
on your
DuPont,
dime,
for
We're going to
Google,
do it.
for
So you have
Dr.
to
Zoellner,
install
for
a
New
key
Star,
stroke
for Total Ending
recorder.
Concepts, for the
I
Thrivetime
know
Show.
I'm supposed
And
to
these
do
guys
it,
do
but
an absolutely
have
phenomenal
you done
job.
it?
So if
The
you're out
question I
there
have
and you
is,
say,
are you
I am
doing
looking
it?
for
I
a
wanna do
better
it. Have you
janitorial service, I'm looking for the
actually
best
gone to
janitorial service I can possibly
activetrack.com
find
and
in
installed
the Northeast
keystroke
Oklahoma area,
recorders for your
go to
employees?
theclassicclean.com.
four.
Again, that's the
You wanna install call
classicclean.com. If you're
I recommend
struggling
that
to
you
find
use
it, it's
Clarity
theclassicclean.com. Write it down and check them out during the break.
Get ready to enter the Thrivetime Show.
You can't trust your employees. Why? Because 75% of people steal from the workplace. So again, we install the keystroke recorders from ActiveTime.com. Step 4, we install the call recording from ClarityVoice.com. Step 5, install GPS systems. Install GPS
Welcome back to the
systems
Thrivetime Show on your
company
radio.
vehicles.
Chuck,
Why
have
would
you ever
do that?
seen
'Cause you want
the
to
movie
verify
The
that
Truman
your employees
Show?
are actually
Yeah, it's a
going
good
to the
one.
job site.
Do you like the Truman Show?
Yeah, I
They're
like that
not.
movie.
Can you explain
They
to
say they're
listeners
going to
out there
Lowe's to pick up
roughly what the Truman Show
supplies.
is
They're
all
usually
about?
going
Starring
to
Jim Carrey.
Yeah,
anywhere
so Jim Carrey's
but
character,
Lowe's.
Truman,
Step 6,
he lives
you
in
wanna
what he believes
install
to be a normal, natural
cameras.
world, but in
You wanna
reality,
install
it is
cameras.
a TV
I
show that they are
recommend the
hiding
company
from
called
him, that they're filming
Nest.
his entire
I
life
recommend
from
the company
behind the
called
scenes.
Nest.
So there's cameras
Now,
behind his
there
mirrors in
are
his
other
house.
companies
There's
that have
cameras all over the streets.
affordable camera
the
solutions,
ocean
but I
isn't
recommend
real.
using
It's just a big
Nest.
fake
It's
movie set, and he
Nest.com.
believes that it's his life.
Now
and
you
he's being
might
filmed.
say,
Well,
so one
Clay,
thing I've
this
thought
guy stole
about
money
doing,
from
and I've
me,
never
and
done
what do
it
I do?
yet,
How do I
but
handle it? Well, I'm trying to help
actually
you
pretty
treat
close
the
to
root
doing it.
of the issue.
Is I thought
Deal with
about
the root, not the fruit. The root
just
of the issue is that we
putting my
probably
entire
don't have.
day
Most
on
businesses
streaming
don't
video.
have the paranoia required to be
Like
successful
every second of every day.
sustainably,
And
according
that
to the
way,
founder of
what happens
Intel.
could just be known.
According to the
Real.
founder of
Right, and what happens
Intel,
is with the internet
think about
now,
this for a
think
second.
about this profound
Only
idea. We're talking about
the
managing
paranoid
people today, and think about this profound
survive.
idea.
Only the
Back in the
paranoid
day, back in the
survive.
80s,
Now,
even in the
who
90s,
said
the
that?
70s, the 60s, the 50s,
Who
every
said that?
time previous to now,
Yes, it's the founder.
the only time that
of
you got a
Dell,
voice
and his name was Andy
was when you earned a
Grove.
platform.
Only the
Right.
So if
paranoid
you'd won a
survive.
gold
So we
medal,
have to make sure
you would get
that
interviewed,
we are
and people would say,
sufficiently
"What do you think
paranoid.
about
If we do
ABC
not
1,
have
2,
these
3?
systems
Because
in
you'd won a
place,
gold medal.
we will lose time
People
and time
would
again, and we
interview
will always
because
find
you
ourselves
had,
saying,
achieved
"What do I
success
do?
in some area."
What, how
Well,
do I
now
deal
with
with
social
this? What do
media,
I say?
anybody
I'm
can
trying to
say
help you
anything
fix
they want to
this
say
problem
at any
forever.
given
So
time.
step
So
one,
somebody
schedule
has
a weekly
someone
accounting
can comment
meeting to
on like a
verify
Justin
purchases.
Bieber YouTube
Step
video
2, document
and write a
issues.
negative review,
Step
and the
3,
world
install
accepts it to be
keystroke recorders.
fact because
I recommend
everybody has an
ActiveTrack.com.
anonymous account with
Step
no
4,
accountability attached
install
to it.
call recording.
Step
But in the
5,
world of
install
business, what
GPS
happens
systems
is
people a
on
lot of
company
times will
vehicles.
form an opinion
And step 6,
based
install
upon
cameras. Again,
what
step
they
1,
hear
schedule a
from
weekly
other people.
accounting
Even if
meeting
it's
to
not
verify
true,
purchases.
if they see
Step
enough
2,
people write something
document the
online,
issues.
then they assume it's
Step
true.
3,
So what we're going to do
install
today is we're going to be interviewing members of our
Step
team.
4,
We actually
call
did
recording.
interview members of our
Step
team and asked them,
5,
what's it
install
like
GPS
actually working
systems
for
on
me?
company
So that
vehicles.
way, instead
Step
of
6,
you hearing
install cameras.
from me what
Now,
it's like to work
step
for me, you can
7,
hear
kind
from
of
actual
our-
members
our
of our
bonus.
team. Now, our next interview
Is this person
is a lady by the name of Felicia.
obviously is stealing money
Now,
from you and doesn't
Felicia
have a problem with
is
it,
a
so we
very
need
hard-working
to make sure
person,
we
and so
tread
she's been
light.
with me for
We wanna
5
gather
years.
all of the
I actually sold
information.
one of the
Gather
companies
proof
that she
the
worked
person
for,
is in fact
and
using
she
your card
actually
for personal
decided to
purchases.
leave the
And then
company that
document
I
the issues.
started and sold so
And
she
then
could come
pick
back
a
and work
date
for
in
me
the calendar
again.
when it
And
is
she didn't
most
really care
convenient
what
for
company
you.
it was. She just wanted to come work with me again and
Pick
my
a date.
wife
Is it
because she
November
knows what
7th?
it's like working for us and she likes that culture.
True.
So before
January
we
5th.
play her interview, Chuck,
Choose a day
can
in
you
your
read the
calendar that's
notable
most convenient
quotable
for you.
from
Because step
Colin
7
Powell?
is we must
Yes, he
conduct
says being
a weekly group
responsible
interview.
sometimes
Conduct
means
a
pissing
weekly
people off.
group
And that is
interview,
what
because
Felicia
he who has
talks
the most
about
options wins.
during
So
this
document all the
particular
issues, and your mom
an
determine when
interview.
you're
So
gonna
without any
fire
further
this
ado,
person.
our interview
And then
with
when you
Felicia,
have the most
one of
options,
our
when you
lead
have a backup,
photographers
when you have
at the
I mean, it might cost you less
Thrivetime
money
show.
to have someone steal from you every week than it would to replace them right now.
My
Think
name
about
is
that.
Felicia Brown,
And then
and I have
choose in
worked
your
at
mind when you're
Thrive
going to
for
fire them,
about
and through
4
the process
years.
of the group
I'm a
interview,
photographer and
you will
videographer
find
here,
great
but I didn't
candidates.
always
There
start
are
out
great
that way.
people out there. We have
When I
great
started,
people
I started
that
as a
I work
graphic
with on a
designer.
daily basis. Great
And
people
my
like
first
Sean,
day is something that I'll
like
never
Claire,
forget. I
like
walked in the
Harley,
door, and
like
everybody
Robert,
was
like
hollering
Amanda,
and cheering and so
like
excited.
Amelia,
All the sales
like
team were on the
Andrew,
phone with clients, and we were
Larry, like
literally
Felicia.
hollering
Great
for them
people on our
because we
team
were so happy
that
we were
can
going
be
to help them
trusted
change
on
their
a
lives.
daily basis.
I knew from that
And these
moment
great
that this was
people
the type of place that I
are
wanted to be at.
abundantly available.
But working with
if you
Clay
do
is
the
not
group
as
interview.
easy as it
But if you
looks.
feel stuck or trapped,
people
you might have to
with
stick
Clay
around
and
with
his
them for the
team
short term. But do not
are
let the
very
emotions
hardworking
get in the
individuals.
way of the motion
Everybody
you need to take. Don't
is
get emotional
diligent
about this.
and
Don't
passionate about their
not fire
clients,
them
and they
because
want to
they're
make sure
family
that they're
or
meeting
friends,
those
and
deadlines.
don't
but
fire
not
them
only meeting the
immediately because
deadlines,
you're so mad.
over-delivering.
Choose
Most
the
people
right time
couldn't
for
work for
you
Clay.
to fire
And I've seen a lot of people
this
come in and try and
So the
fail.
question is, what to
But
do
the
when you
people
catch your
who
employees
succeed
stealing from you,
are
my
A
answers
players.
to you
They're
would
people
be step one,
who
schedule
know what
a
they
weekly
want out of
accounting
life
meeting to
and
verify
care about the
purchases.
job that they're doing.
Step two, document
And
the
most
issues.
people aren't able
Step
to do
three,
that.
install
Working
keystroke
with Clay
recorder.
has
Step
been an
four,
experience that
install
has
call
literally
recording.
changed my
Step
life.
five,
I've worked at so many
install
different
GPS
jobs before,
systems on company
and none
vehicles.
of them have been
Step
this
6,
way. I've always
install the cameras.
left my
Step
job
7,
feeling discouraged
conduct a weekly
and
group interview so that you can
feeling
fire
like I
people
just didn't give
when
my
you
full
need
because
to.
nobody cared.
My name is Clay Clark.
But that's not
I'm
the
a
case
business
here.
coach, and
Everybody
I'm going to go
cares.
swim in the
Clay
pool with
is the type of
my
person
son.
who will
Without any
take you
further
aside
ado,
and coach
3,
you and
2,
help you
1,
not
boom.
only attain your professional and career goals, but he's going to help you with your personal goals too, because everything matters. When Clay takes you aside and talks to you, he's going to be very straight to the point. He's going to give you so much information all at once, and all of it is important. So you need to make sure to bring a notebook and a pen so you can write down all of this stuff. But not only is he going to give you lots of helpful information that is going to help you professionally and personally, he's going to incorporate humor so that it's going to be funny, so it's not so awkward, and you're actually paying attention, because if you're not having fun, then you're not truly engaging, and that is something that Thrive is all about. So if you feel like this isn't the type of work environment for you, you don't want to give your all every second of the day, and you just want to clock in and clock out, then this probably isn't going to be the place for you. Because this place isn't only going to help you like hone in on your skills that you already have, it's going to push you to learn new skills you never thought you would need to know or want to know. Since I've been here, I've learned graphic design, SEO, coding, photography, videography, you name it, because they're going to push you and make you uncomfortable, because that's the only time that real growth happens. So I've known Clay and his family for a long time, and they are truly amazing people. The more I get to know them, the more I like them. And one thing that stands out with them that most people you don't see, especially with people who own businesses and are so high up in this chain of our society, is that they love animals. They have turkeys and chickens and cats. So I think that Clay loves these animals because he can relate to them. These animals were put on the earth to do a job. They were put here to do a purpose, and they all do that. They eat, they breathe, they sleep, they do what they were meant to do. And that's something that people and humans don't always do. We were put here to thrive and to succeed and to get the most out of life. And most people, they just pass it all by. They don't want to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning like most of the people on the Thrive team. They don't want to work until the late hours. They don't want to give their 100% in every aspect of their life or schedule that out. And I think that that's why Clay relates and loves these animals so much, because they were put on this earth to do a purpose, and they do that purpose. And it frustrates him and frankly pisses him off when humans won't do what they were put here to do. So if what I've described to you today just doesn't seem like your cup of tea and you don't think you would be very happy here, then just go ahead and go somewhere else. But if you like what I've talked about and you feel like you could really thrive working with us, then go ahead and join our team. We would love to have you.
There are so many nuggets of knowledge that Felicia just shared, but I want to harp on a couple of them. If you work with me, if I manage you, I will hold you accountable to a standard of excellence, because my customers hold me to a standard of excellence, and we're going to laugh a lot along the way. And when we come back from the break, I'm going to talk about the importance of humor in managing people, because if you're going to push people and hold them accountable, you have to have a sense of humor, because a spoonful of medicine, to quote the late great Mary Poppins, a spoonful of medicine makes, a spoonful of sugar makes the medicine go down. The spoonful of sugar makes the medicine go down. Stay tuned.
Get ready to enter the Thrivetime Show.
I'm a father of 5 with maniacal focus to teach the proven moves, no hocus pocus. Cause get rich quick is not a move, but the proven system will make your life improve. See, I'm more than just a rhymer, like a horse with blinders. Focused on the Thrivetime Show, that's where you find us. He be the Z and I be the C. Teaching business skills from Clay to Z. We both. All right, Thrive Nation, welcome back to the Thrivetime Show on your radio. And today we're talking about a topic that I would say, from my perspective as a business coach of now 13 years, I've been doing this, I can say that this is the number one challenge for business owners. It is managing people. How do you manage people? Especially in the world of social media, where anybody can write anything they want at any time. And where the masses believe the anonymous comments of somebody on Glassdoor or YouTube or Facebook, Twitter. I mean, so what happens is, just recently, we had a member of our team in one of our companies that frankly was not performing well. But the person, he happened to be a veteran, right? A veteran, a member of the United States, former military member. So what happens is, what do? You go on there and you start stirring it up. You start writing that you don't like your boss. Your boss is a bad boss, and you can say whatever you want. Well, pretty soon if you say something enough, it gets perceived as true. And this is really a disturbing idea, that you could say something over and over and over, and then people will eventually accept it as truth. And that's crazy to me. But that is what that's what happens.
That's how it works.
And so we're going to play audio interviews from our actual employees that work with us at either Thrive or Elephant or Make Your Life Epic or any of the brands that I'm involved in, so you can hear their personal perspective of what it's like to work with us. Now, Chup, this next idea I want to hammer home, then I'm going to read a Colin Powell quote, is a spoonful of sugar makes the medicine go down. We've all heard this song. A spoonful of sugar makes the medicine go down. The medicine go down. The medicine go down. Just a spoonful of sugar makes the medicine go down in the most delightful way. That's a little Mary Poppins for you, right? So why? I don't know why. I'm not sure why the human brain works the way it does. All I can say is that I push my team to perform at a high level, and if I wasn't funny or intentional about being lighthearted, it wouldn't work. Now, Chup, you've managed a lot of people. You've been around a lot of people that manage people. Why do you have to have just at least a sense of humor in order to hold people accountable?
Because that's how you bring people back up, is by getting them back into a good mood and helping them move past whatever issue that they are having right at that moment. And if all you do, if your only interaction with your team members is just course correction, if you're berating them all the time and you're not having any fun at the workplace, you're not going to be able to keep any talented people in your organization.
So Robin Williams writes here. Robin Williams, the late, great comedic personality, the actor. He writes, comedy can be a cathartic way to deal with personal trauma. So all I would say is use a little bit of humor if you want your team to respect being pushed and held accountable. But Chup, go ahead and read some Colin Powell. This is the former Secretary of State, the first African-American Secretary of State for the United States of America. Read a little Colin Powell quote to us here.
He says, the less you associate with some people, the more your life will improve. Anytime you tolerate mediocrity in others, it increases your mediocrity. An important attribute in successful people is their impatience with negative thinking and negative acting people. As you grow, your associates will change. Some of your friends will not want you to go on. They will want you to stay where they are. Friends that don't help you climb will want you to crawl. Your friends will stretch your vision or choke your dream. Those that don't increase you will eventually decrease you.
This is big. This is if you want to understand the Clay Clark experience, what I'm all about. Literally, if you are peeing in my mental pool, imagine you have a pool
right
of water and somebody that you know who's over the age of 30 is peeing in the pool. I don't know if that would go over well with you, but you'd probably say, hey, could you stop peeing in my pool? And you'd probably think it's weird.
Right.
But if they're just like pants down, middle of the day, in front of everybody, they're not drunk, it's not late night, it's not under the water, they're just peeing in your pool.
From outside into the pool.
Right.
Not good.
You would say, stop peeing in my pool.
Hey, bud.
I'm telling you this. Anybody that is mediocre, I am an enemy of average. Anybody at all that is mediocre pisses me off.
That's right.
I don't like them. So if you're out there and you say, I think I'd like to be a Thrive coaching client. No, you wouldn't unless you're a diligent doer.
Very true.
If you're willing to actually execute like the Delricks, like Phone Doctors, like Tip Top Canine.
Shepherd Automotive.
Like so many of the great clients we have, like our great friends in Tucson, Arizona, Miss Jennifer out there, then you would love our program. But if you're lazy, you're not going to like it.
Not at all.
And so without any further ado, we're going to play another audio excerpt, another interview where we interview the actual employees that work with me on a daily basis. many of which have worked with me for years, and they explain their experience of working with me. They explain their experience of working with me in the office on a day-to-day basis. That way you and I can all learn a little bit more about how to manage people successfully. Stay tuned.
My name is Victoria Woods, and I've been working with Clay for about 2 years. I am currently a business coach with Thrive15, but when I first came on here, I started in sales and learned a lot of different things. So working with Clay has definitely been an experience. You learn something new every single day. You're always moving forward. Since working with Clay, I have learned so many different things, not only in terms of business knowledge, but in my personal life as well. Honestly, it would be really hard to go in and list the different things that I've learned, but I do feel that I'm at a place now where I could go anywhere if I chose to and be really successful thanks to the things that I've learned from working with Clay. The type of people that are going to enjoy working with Clay are going to be, go-getters, people who are always looking for new opportunities to learn a new skill or, move up in whatever their personal goals are. Somebody that's not going to take the easy way out and is just going to get the job done. Clay's passion for helping other business owners grow their business and be successful is very apparent. Everything from his radio show to the day-to-day coaching that he does with his clients. Because when he helps his clients win, that's, he's the best, so he's winning. It's just a white hot passion for helping people reach their goals. And it's really great to see somebody who's not always just trying to get the best for themselves but help somebody else reach their goals. The type of people that would not like to work with Clay would be the people who call in sick all the time for a runny nose, somebody that is always going to look for an easy way out, shortcuts that just to make their life easier, somebody that's nefarious, anybody that's shady, because Clay's very transparent in everything that he does. So if that's not, you probably wouldn't like it. So if you don't know Clay, he is a very unique person. He uses humor a lot, and it's a really good way to interact with people and help people actually obtain whatever you're trying to get through to them. And he's just a very passionate person about reaching his goals and completing what he sets his mind to. My best guess of why Clay likes turkeys, chickens, cats so much, those unorthodox animals, is because Clay is not the most orthodox human, so, he relates to them. If you are about to meet Clay for the first time, I would highly recommend 3 things. 1, bring a pen and paper. 2, do not yawn. And 3, stay off of your cell phone.
Okay, well, there's a lot to unpack there, and I would just say that if you are out there and you have struggled to manage people, you need to get out to our workshop. Because
Absolutely.
Managing people is one of my superpowers that I've developed over time. It's a skill that I've developed. I wasn't born with the talent. I had to learn that skill. And if once you learn how to manage people and to hold them accountable, then you can really begin to scale your business and to achieve massive success. But if you can never manage people and you do everything possible to avoid managing people, if you create apps, software, programs. Chubb, I'm sure you've seen clients who try to manage their team via an app, via some software. Does it ever work?
Never. You have to be there. Somebody has to be watching them, or they're going to take shortcuts, and that's going to ruin your business.
You can't manage people via email. When we come back from the break, more about how to successfully manage people and interviews with members of our team who've been with us for a long, long time. Stay tuned. If I can do it, I know you can too, but you must stick to it like postage do. And while Merton's on the chorus, singing what he sings, I encourage you to dream big dreams.
Today is your day.
Today's your day.
And now is your time.
It's your time.
This is your year to thrive.
Sing it, sing it.
Success you will find. Today is your day.
It's your day.
And now is your time.
It's your time.
Today is your
facts.
No negative emotion, cause that's what business is. Always dominate, cause I got 5 kids. I will not lose, I don't break but bruise. They can talk about me, I can take that abuse. Here is the truth, while they make that excuse. I'll be up grinding, cause the scoreboard's the truth. He is my mentor, like my Yoda dude. He showed me the force like I was a young Luke. All right, Thrive Nation, we have some special updates and announcements for you. I want to make sure that we clarify, that we share this concept as much as possible so you understand. We've had a lot of people that have asked us if we can start taking call-ins, where you could call and actually ask Dr. Zoellner and I a question. And the good news is, yes, you can do that. Whoa. You can do that. So starting now, this is how you do it. If you will leave us an objective review of what you like about the show on iTunes, you just subscribe to the Thrivetime Show on iTunes, leave a review, or you can leave a review on Google. And if you've already done it before, that's fine. Then just email us in the proof that you did it to info@thrive15.com. info@thrivetimeshow.com. info@thrivetimeshow.com. Well, along with your question and your phone number, what we'll do is we will call you, we'll arrange a time, and then we will call you on a recorded line, and we will answer your question. We'll just mention your first name and your industry. We won't, divulge your last name or the name of your company, and that way all the listeners can benefit from it too. There's thousands of people that reach out to us all the time via email, and we want to be able to answer your questions on the actual show. I think it's going to be a lot of fun for you and for the listeners. But again, if you want to have your questions answered, just leave us an objective review on iTunes or Google, and then email your questions to info@thrivetimeshow.com, and then we will call you from a recorded line. We will not divulge your name of your company or your last name, just your first name, and then we will interview. You can actually ask us the questions, and that'll become content on the show.
This is a huge opportunity out there, Thrivers, because people will pay a lot of money for some of Clay or Dr. Zoellner's time, and in some cases, especially with Dr. Z, might not even matter how much money you're trying to pay.
Right.
So,
my man is off the grid.
That's right. So getting your questions answered by these two guys is huge. So take advantage of this, and let's get you guys on the show.
We have a lot of Thrivers that always ask us via email. They say, how do you manage people? How do you do it? Well, what I wanted to do on today's show is I wanted to play excerpts from interviews with our actual employees, our actual teammates, so you could hear, not from me, but you could hear from them what it's like to work with us on a daily basis. But before we do that, Shep, continue reading from the Colin Powell quote, please.
It says, consider this. Never receive counsel from unproductive people. Never discuss your problems with someone incapable of contributing to the solution, because those who never succeed themselves are always first to tell you how. Not everyone has a right to speak into your life. You are certain to get the worst of the bargain when you exchange ideas with the wrong person. Don't follow anyone who's not going anywhere.
Oh, my gosh. Wow. Colin Powell. So if you're out there listening to our show and then you try to share these ideas with other people, unless somebody is a successful entrepreneur, they will not ever agree with what we teach on the show. Everything we teach does not work well within our pop culture. It produces success in business, but the average person is not successful. The average person has less than $400 saved, according to the United States Federal Reserve. The average American doesn't like their job. 70% of Americans hate their jobs, according to Forbes. 90% of businesses fail, according to Forbes. So most people won't like what we teach here at the Thrivetime Show. So beware of who you're getting your counsel from. So now, without any further ado, here's an audio excerpt, an audio interview with a member of our team, Mr. Robert Redmond, as he shares what it's like to work with me on a day-to-day basis.
My name is Robert Redmond. I actually first met Clay almost 3 years ago to the day. I don't know if he remembers it or not, but I wasn't working with him at the time. I asked to see him and just ask him some questions to help direct my life, to get some mentorship. But I've been working with Clay for now just over a year. The role I play here is a business coach, business consultant. I work with different businesses implementing best practice processes and systems that I have learned here by working with Clay. And the experience working here has, to put it real plainly, has been just life-changing. I have not only learned new things and have gained new knowledge, but I have gained a whole new mindset that I believe wherever I end up will serve me well throughout the rest of my life. Since working with Clay, I I have learned so much. I mean, I would like to say almost everything about business in terms of the different categories. I haven't learned it all, but I've learned all about marketing. I've learned about advertising. I've learned about branding. I've learned how to create a sales process for organizations in any industry. I've learned how to sell. I've learned how to create repeatable systems and processes and hold people accountable. How to hire people. It's almost like every aspect of a business you can learn. I have learned a lot in those different categories. And then, again, the mindset that I've gained here has been huge. Working here, you can't be a mediocre person. You are a call to a higher standard of excellence. And then as you're called to that standard here, you begin to see those outcomes in every area of your life, that standard of excellence that you want to implement no matter what you're involved in. I would like to describe the other people that work with Clay are people that are going somewhere with their life. Marshall in the group interview talks about how the best fits for this organization are the people that are goal-oriented. So they're on their own trajectory, and we're on our own trajectory. And the best fits are those people where there can be a mutually beneficial relationship, that as we pursue our goals and we help the business pursue those goals, the business helps us pursue our goals as well. And so I'd say people that are driven, people that want to make something of their lives, people that are goal-oriented, they're focused, and they're committed to overcoming any adversity that may come their way. Clay's passion for helping business owners grow their businesses it's unique in that I don't know if there's anyone else that can be as passionate. Whenever a business starts working with Clay, it's almost as like Clay is running that business in the sense that he has something at stake. He's just serving them. They're one of his clients, but it's as if he is actively involved in the business. Whenever they have a win, he's posting it all over his social media. He's shouting it across the room here at Thrive. He's sending people encouraging messages. He can kind of be that life coach and business coach in terms of being that a motivator and that champion for people's businesses. It's again unique because there's no one else I've seen get so excited about and passionate about other people's businesses. The kind of people that wouldn't like working with Clay are people that are satisfied with mediocrity. People that want to get through life by just doing enough, by just getting by. People who are not looking to develop themselves, people who are not coachable, people who think that they know it all and they're unwilling to change. I would say those are the type of people. In short, anyone that's content with mediocrity would not like working with Clay. So if you're meeting Clay for the first time, the advice I'd give you is definitely come ready to take tons of notes. Every time Clay speaks, he it gives you a wealth of knowledge that you don't want to miss. I remember the first time that I met Clay, I literally carried a notebook with me all around. I was looking at this notebook the other day, actually. I carried a notebook with me all around, and I just took tons of notes. I filled the entire notebook in about 3 or 4 months just from being around Clay, following him, and learning from him. And then I would say come coachable. Be open to learning something new. Be open to challenging yourself. Be open to learning and adjusting parts about you that need to be adjusted. I think Clay loves his turkey, chickens, and cats. First of all, because Clay actually spent some time on a farm, I believe in Minnesota. He talks about how his uncle, who's been somewhat of a mentorship figure to him, spent time on a farm with him. And I remember a story that he tells where he says that he didn't wake up on time, and his uncle was telling him, hey, if you don't wake up on time, you're not going to eat. And he didn't wake up on time. and he didn't eat. And there's another time where he didn't try hard at a basketball game. And his uncle said, hey, since you're not trying hard, you're going to walk home. And he literally walked home. So he had that farm experience. But I think on a deeper layer, turkeys and chickens and cats, they're not too dramatic. And I know that Clay does not like dealing with gossip, with drama, with, negative emotions. And then, those animals kind of have an aspect of purity to them. And I believe that deep down that Clay loves anything that is wholesome, good, and pure.
Stay tuned. It's the Thrivetime Show on your radio. We're talking about how to manage people effectively.
Presenting the world's only business school without the BS.
He be the Z and I be the C. Teaching business skills from Clay to Z. We both grew up poor, but we're poor no more. The goal of this show is to help you score. I couldn't see the light until my son could see, but I learned to rock the mic in the high school scene. On Yo Thrive Nation, this week we're talking about how to effectively manage people. And I believe that this topic is absolutely super duper over the top important for a lot of our listeners. In fact, when I say a lot, all of the listeners, anybody out there listening, if you own a business, you run a company, you run an organization, or you ever want to, this is the show you don't want to miss, because we're talking about how to effectively manage people. We talked about it on yesterday's show, and so many of you have emailed and have had questions about, well, I love you talk about the group interview. That sounds great. I love the idea of having staff meetings. I love that. That sounds great. Key performance indicators. That sounds great. Oh, yeah. But how does it actually go over with the employees that actually work for you, with you, on your team? Well, okay, that's a great question. First thing is I don't think anybody works for me. I think they work with me. And that's maybe a distinction. I think anybody on our team, we're all working towards a goal. So my first step when I hire somebody is I want to make sure that they are not the antithesis of our goal, that our values are not diametrically opposed, that we don't have two clashing worldviews. So if you work with me, let me tell you my worldviews, so that way you'll know if you would like to work with me or not. I am very, very, very libertarian. Guns and gold kind of thing. Like, get out of my way, government. Like, hey, let's pay as much taxes as we have to. Let's honor the tax code, but let's try to spend as many days and years as possible in a row without ever interacting with a member of the government. I would never, under any circumstance, turn to the government for help. I believe the government's role is to not provide us happiness, but to allow us to pursue happiness. If you look at the founding fathers and the documents that they created, I think it's very, very, very important that you look at the founding fathers and you look at the Constitution, you look at the Declaration of Independence, and I'd recommend that you'd read the Federalist Papers. And I'd like to put this on the show notes. There's 3 books, 3 documents that every American should know, and at some point, I think in the coming weeks, we'll probably do a show on this as we head up into the 4th of July. But everybody needs to have read the Federalist Papers. The Federalist Papers. We don't have time to get into it, but you should have read the Declaration of Independence is powerful. The Declaration of Independence and the United States Constitution. Because as you read those documents, you'll begin to see that the people that started this great country left King George and the oppressive rule of Great Britain and the United Kingdom because the people wanted to no longer have to be essentially controlled by a king. They wanted the ability to pursue happiness. They wanted the freedom to pursue happiness. It doesn't mean that we were guaranteed happiness. Oh, there's a distinction. It means that freedom isn't free. So we have to work hard. We have the opportunity to earn happiness, but we're not given happiness. And so I'm very much that way. For me, it's not about resources. It's about resourcefulness. To me, it's about getting it done. To me, it's about wake up at whatever time you need to wake up to get your job done. To me, it's about achieving results. To me, it's about, people ask me all the time, well, what does it take to be successful? And I would tell you, whatever it takes. It's just whatever it takes. You got to do whatever it takes.
Fairly profound, huh?
And I think a lot of people don't grasp that idea. I
Absolutely.
think people say, what does it take to become successful? I would say it takes whatever it takes. I'd also say that being present is a present and every day is a gift. So what does that mean? I mean, get off your cell phone. So if you work in my offices, I'm going to make you be off your cell phone. You can't be on your cell phone when you're working with me. Why? Because I don't want you being stupid. I don't want you being distracted. According to Psychology Today, we'll put this on the show notes, the average person is interrupted 75 times per day. And unlike, and if you put on the article is called "Is your smartphone making you dumb?" And if you read it, it shows that the average American is interrupted so many times today with social media and negative comments on Facebook and Google and emails and text messages and Twitter and all these nefarious platforms. And you said nefarious. You mean intentionally trying to cause harm is what you're saying? Yes. I literally do believe that many of the apps out there are inherently nefarious. It's like Snapchat, in my mind, is inherently a nefarious application.
Some of these inventors of these apps talk about it, right?
Right.
They don't even use them themselves because it's a hamster wheel that you get trapped in.
Yeah, Naval Ravikant, one of the investors and minds behind Facebook, he talks about how he just doesn't go on social media, and he was one of the guys who invested in it because it is a hamster wheel that you can't get off of. Those notifications keep coming in, people keep commenting, and then this is what's really, really, really bad, is that on social media, there's a lot of charlatans out there. Now, you might say, well, what's a charlatan? Well, a charlatan is somebody that doesn't actually know what they're talking about, but just says it enough that people believe them. And that's a really bad deal because there's a lot of that out there. There's a lot of people out there on social media that will teach you how to grow a company, but they've never done it. So I would just say, why don't you come to one of our stores? You know, like come to Elephant in the Room and watch it. Schedule a shadow day with me. Come to a workshop. Go to Dr. Zoellner and Associates. Go to the lobby of the business. I mean, go to the auto auction. See it. I mean, these are real things. I mean, Dr. Z really did invest a lot of money in Regent Bank, and it really exists. The bank's now worth over $400 million, and Z really did invest in that bank at a time when the American economy was not doing well, a time where I don't think anybody else would have invested with Dr. Z and Sean Copeland except for a few crazy people. But that bank has done great because what we're teaching what works. We're not teaching the theory. Simon Sinek is writing about the theory of how to lead people. But he doesn't lead people, though. He doesn't understand. Steve Jobs has been described by ex-employees. Bill Belichick, the head coach of the Patriots, has been described by ex-Patriots as being a not nice person. Former employees for Jack Welch and Oprah say that they're not a nice person. It's called accountability. When you hold people accountable, that does require irritating people. And so without any further ado, we're going to talk about managing people. Chuck, could you read the notable quotable from Colin Powell, Colin Powell is the first African-American Secretary of State, and he's a retired 4-star general in the United States Army. Chuck, please read the notable quotable.
He says, with some people you spend an evening, with others you invest it. Be careful where you stop to inquire for directions along the road of life. Wise is the person who fortifies his life with the right friendships. If you run with the wolves, you will learn how to howl. But if you associate with eagles, you will learn how to soar to great heights.
That is profound. Wow, Colin Powell dropping knowledge bombs. Now, without any further ado, let's get back into we're actually playing audio. We actually interviewed the members of my companies, and we asked them, what's it like to work for me, with me, in our offices on a daily basis. That way you could hear where the theory meets the actual application. Without any further ado, our interviews with our employees. Stay tuned.
My name is Marshall Morris, and I've known Clay Clark for the past 9 years. Up here in the office, I serve as one of the business coaches, and over the past 9 years, it has been fantastic working with Clay. I originally started working with him over at DJ Connection, and have been with him through the Realty Group, and through running for mayor, and the building of Thrive15.com, and it's just been fantastic. It's been a roller coaster of a ride, and I've loved every minute of it. So in the time that I've been working with Clay, I've learned a whole capacity of different things. In fact, I think that that's one of the most differentiating things up here in the office is how many different things that you can learn. I've learned search engine optimization, sales skills. Clay is one of the best sales trainers in the world, and as well as website development, managing people, managing clients' expectations. These are all invaluable skills that you can learn up here in the office and that Clay's taught me. So for somebody that doesn't know Clay
incredibly well or you're just meeting him, the first thing that you need to know about his personality is it's very polarizing, black and white, and really that's how you know whether you're going to love working with him or maybe not like working with him right off the bat. And he'll tell you and you'll know it, and it's okay if it's not a good fit for a relationship or a friendship, because what's most important is developing a deep relationship with somebody that you're going to be working with. So one of the important things to understand about Clay and all the people that surround him, all the team members, the partners, the people that Clay associates himself with, they're all people of high integrity and high character. And that comes back to the core values that he has for himself, his family, and his life. And it's polarizing. So if you don't share the same core values, you're not going to like working with the other team members up here in the office. And so we protect that. We're almost like cultural warriors up here in the office, protecting the core values of integrity and character. So Clay's passion for helping other business owners grow their business, working in their business, working on their business, it's unmatched by any other business coach in the world. Not Tony Robbins, not Ty Lopez, not any of these charlatans that want to help you set up a click funnel or set up the 67 steps for success. But Clay sincerely cares deeply about helping other business owners get from where they are to where they want to be. And that is one of the coolest things in the world. So Clay's management style is a little bit unique but effective. He's going to hold you accountable, which means that we're going to celebrate the wins up here in the office for whatever it is that you're doing when you achieve a task or a project. But you're also going to be held accountable. So if you're not meeting expectations, you're going to hear about it. And so I think that can be a little bit of a turnoff for some people, but for A players, it's really a cool thing that we have up here in the office. The people that would not like working with Clay are those that want to be assigned to tasks and then never followed up on at all. So zero accountability and people that yawn. So if you're meeting Clay for the first time, I have a couple tips. 1, be brief. 2, be funny. And 3, be witty. He might not acknowledge it at the time, but when he's in his man cave at 3 a.m., he's going to remember that joke and think the world of you. So Clay loves his turkeys, cats, and chickens so much because they're his closest group of friends. He talks to them all the time because he's spending so much time at his man cave. And so these turkeys, chickens, cats, they've never screwed him over. And so that's why he appreciates his relationship with them so much. And I think that's pretty cool.
Now, Thrive Nation, today we're talking about managing people. And I really do believe managing people is probably the hardest aspect of running a business for most people. For me personally, I've never found it to be that challenging because I'm not naturally a person who wants to be liked. I don't care. And the great irony about it is that if you read the books, if you read like 11 Rings, the story of Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant and their head coach, Phil Jackson, you'll discover that Michael Jordan wasn't very likable and Kobe Bryant wasn't very likable, but yet everyone likes them because of their success. And so I would just say this, if you run a business and your number one desire is to be liked, you will probably never be liked and you will never grow the company. But if your goal is to be successful, you will be, as a general rule, feared and respected and not loved and liked. But then eventually, over time, people will go from just fearing and respecting you to actually loving you and respecting you. But I don't know if they can ever move into the category of liking you. Maybe they can, maybe they can't. And so we'll be interviewing more members of our team during today's show so you can hear their experience of working with me on a daily basis. We produce results, so I always point at the scoreboard, but I want you to get a real interviews and real perspective from real members of our team so you can hear what it's like to be managed in our companies. And before we do that, I want to tell you about a company called Onyx Imaging. Onyx Imaging. Well, are you spending too much time and too much money getting office supplies and printer supplies?
No, you are.
Of course you are. And so if you want to save time and money, and who doesn't, go to onyximaging.com. That's onyximaging.com. That's Onyx Imaging, easy for me to say, onyximaging.com. Check them out during the break. Stay tuned.
3, 2, 1, boom! You are now entering the dojo of Mojo and the Thrivetime Show.
Thrivetime Show on the microphone. What is this? Top of the iTunes charts in the category of business. Drilling down on business topics like we are a dentist. Providing you with mentorship like you are an apprentice. And we go so fast that you might get motion sickness. Grab a pen and pad to the lab. Let's get in this. It's time to bear some fruit like some Florida oranges. 3, 2, 1. Here come the business ninjas.
Sonic boom.
All right, Thrive Nation, Eric Chubb here. Welcome back to the Thrivetime Show on your radio. We are talking today about managing people and actually what it's like to work with Clay, for Clay at the Thrivetime Show. We're going to be getting into some interviews with some of our actual team members, talking about what a day-to-day life at Thrivetime Show is like. And so from my perspective, what I would say is being a boss in my past, having a boss like Clay is awesome because there is a level of accountability that you're not going to find in a lot of places because, Clay, I would say you really don't care about the day-to-day emotions. It's all about the results.
Here's the weird meta idea that hopefully someone can understand. You're a parent, I'm a parent, okay? Right. I have 5 kids, so I want to make sure that everyone gets this idea. I really, really want my son and my daughters to grow up to not be idiots. So my daughter right now, Havana, is working in the offices. She's 13, 1 day a week, writing search engine content. And it's hard. It's difficult. It requires her to move out of her comfort zone. And I don't know if a lot of our listeners know this, but my wife actually requires my kids to run around the track every day.
Really?
And to work out. No, I'm not kidding. And we require them to do gymnastics.
Yep.
And they're required to read. They're required to do piano lessons. We have drum lessons. There's a lot of things they're required to do. I don't care at all about how my daughter feels. I care about making sure that she gets out of my house with the skill set mentally, physically, spiritually. I want her to have all the tools needed to be successful. I care so much about her and her future, and that she will grow up to be successful, that someday when I'm gone, she'll be fine. I care so much about that I don't care about how people feel. I attach myself emotionally so much to the long-term goal that I don't care personally about how I feel during the path.
I feel like managing people is a lot like being a parent. And where I see a lot of parents go off the rails, especially as their kids get older, is they want to be best friends with their kids.
Oh, preach that. Come on now.
Exactly like trying to be best friends with your employees. If you are best friends with your kid, you're not going to be able to hold them accountable. They're going to get mad at you, and it's going to make you feel bad. And you've got to get over that, especially when it comes to your team members and your employees.
I 100% agree, and that might be the wisest thing you've said so far. I believe that. I believe that is a great analogy and a great example. And that is really how I view the members of our team. Now, this next guy, as we're talking about how to manage people effectively, we're interviewing members of our team and asking them what it's like to work here. And this next gentleman worked with one of my companies, and I sold that company. Then after I sold the company, when you sell a company, you can structure deals however you want. But one of the ways I structured it was all the employees that worked at the company had to stay with the company for a window of time. And then at that window of time, or I wasn't allowed to hire them. They're free to do what they want, but I wasn't allowed to hire them until a certain amount of time had passed. And then after that time had passed, anybody who wanted to come work for me could. And it's interesting how the only people that I wanted to come work with me did. And so I didn't reach out to them at all. They reached out to me saying they wanted to come work with me. And so Andrew is one of those guys. And Andrew is a hardworking guy, and he likes working with us so much that he referred his wife to us. And now his wife left Chick-fil-A to come work at Elephant in the Room. Now,
impressive young couple they are.
And I believe this. I believe that Chick-fil-A does a really good job creating an environment where people want to work.
Yep.
But I think I do a better job.
Oh.
And that's why I have a lot of Chick-fil-A people who've applied to work for us. Also, so much so that there's one particular Chick-fil-A owner that I promised him I will not hire any more of his employees.
Peace treaties have been signed.
Because people have from his company continue to apply for jobs with our company. And one funny story, we have a competitor in Tulsa, a hair business in Tulsa, and their entire staff literally came to our office and applied to work within a 7-day period.
Oh, wow.
Every single member of their team.
That's hilarious.
And I decided to take the high road and to not hire all of them because I knew it would put somebody in financial peril. So I didn't do it. And again, the competitor's a nice guy.
Yeah.
And so I'm not going to do that. We did hire one person on the team, and he and I have had a dialogue back and forth. I hired one, but I said, I'm not going into your stores to recruit your people. I wouldn't do that. I don't do that. I do mystery shop, and I do send people to spy and make sure that we're doing a better job than you are, but I don't hire your people.
That's
and he's
right.
like, okay, fine. So it's kind of like a pirate agreement. So now that further ado, our interview with Andrew Bloomer, a member of the Thrive team, about his experience working under our management system. Stay tuned.
My name is Andrew Bloomer, and I do sales and I'm learning web design over here at Thrive. I've known and worked with Clay for about 7 months now. Since working with Clay, I've learned a lot about F6 goals. I have learned a lot of business knowledge, learning different aspects of how to manage a business and not so much work in a business, but still a lot of life skills, like how to manage time with family and relationships and faith, and how to upkeep all of that, and a lot of time management as well. Clay's personality is very passionate. He's very driven. He is very passionate about what he does here at Thrive, and he really does care for all of the clients and helping them grow, and he's not neutral. The kind of teammates and employees that like working with Clay are ones that really like to grind and get things done. The ones that like to get here early and leave when everything's finished, and doesn't mind accountability and the question of when are things going to get done, and the ones who really do love to learn new things. Clay really does have a passion for helping other business owners grow their business. He's not doing it for the money. He's not doing it for any other intentions. He really does care about helping those business owners, getting to the next level and helping them improve their lives and growing more than just their business, but helping improve their lives in every aspect of their life, whether it be the business or their personal life. One of the things that's really polarizing about Clay's management style is he really does hold people accountable, and that's something a lot of people aren't used to, whether it be previous jobs or any other place you've worked. He really does like keeping people accountable, and he really does like to see people grow here. The kind of people who would not like working with Clay would be the people who aren't very coachable, not ready to learn, not looking to learn something new, not able to hit deadlines, not able to be held accountable. If you don't like being held accountable, this probably isn't the place for you. Clay probably loves his turkey, chickens, and cats so much because they're not going to screw him over. They're not going to be late or miss any sort of deadlines. If you're preparing to meet Clay for the first time, I would say make sure you have something to write with, because he's probably going to have something to say that you're not going to want to forget.
Chuck, speaking of something you don't want to forget, you don't want to forget to pay your taxes.
That's a big deal.
You do not want to forget to pay those taxes. I know as an entrepreneur, you can get busy, life happens, and then you need somebody to help you stay on top of your taxes and your accounting. And if you need help with your taxes and accounting, I recommend you check out hoodcpas.com. That's hoodcpas.com. Stay tuned.
No negative emotion, cause that's what business is. Always dominate, cause I got 5 kids. I will not lose, I don't break but bruise. They can talk about me, I can take that abuse. Here is the truth, while they make that excuse. I'll be up grinding, cause the scoreboard's the truth. He is my mentor, like my Yoda dude. He showed me the force like I was a young Luke.
All right, Thrive Nation, welcome back to the Thrivetime Show on your radio. I consider myself to be sort of like a business Jedi, and I feel like that Dr. Zoellner is like my business Yoda. By that I mean the guy is been probably the nicest person in the world to me, and it doesn't make sense. And I can tell you this, I can say this before God, before he, before me, before everybody, before we, all of us. I've never screwed him over. And anytime I work with somebody in business, I will always, on my end, do my part. I will. So I will over-deliver and I'll deliver. And that's what Z does too. Dr. Z he set the standard for that. And so I really love being his partner and his friend, and I cannot explain to you how important our relationship is because of the kind of person he chooses to be on a daily basis. I can also say that not everybody in the world gets to play the part of a Jedi in a Star Wars movie. And going with that analogy, in the Star Wars movies, there's a lot of people. There's stormtroopers, there's actors, there's people in the background, there's different characters, but very few are Jedis. A Jedi is like a select, elite group of people that know how to use the Force, which is like the spiritual laws, the universal laws, to do things that no one else can do. They have the ability to manage the Force. Unlike Star Wars, where the people who have the Force have this natural born gift where you basically can be a Jedi or you can't based upon how you were born, I don't view it that way. I view as an entrepreneur, anybody can be successful if you make the decision to become successful. Anybody can do it. Anybody can become successful if you choose to be successful. And but the Force, one of the superpowers that a business Jedi must learn is you must learn how to manage people. So many people struggle to manage people, but you have to learn how to manage people. You have to do it. You if you wanted to become a Jedi, you got to learn how to use that lightsaber. Why? Because that was a move. That was the thing. So I would just say if you want to run a business, you have to learn how to manage people, and it's not natural. Nobody knows how to do it. A lot of people struggle with it. There's endless books written by charlatans who've never run a business. I mean, you got guys like Simon Sinek who are writing books about how to manage people, but they've never done it. You've got all these motivational speakers. I mean, think about the motivational speakers out there. Think about the names: the Tony Robbins, the Les Browns, the Brian Tracys, the Dale Carnegies. Think about these people. Did they run successful companies? And if they did, I would listen to what they're saying. But if they didn't, I wouldn't, because a lot of these guys teach you systems that sound great in theory, but they don't work when it comes to real-life application. And one guy who achieved massive success, the first African-American to become the Secretary of State for the United States, a 4-star retired general, Colin Powell, wrote a book, and he just has so many knowledge bombs in his books. But I want to read some notable quotables from Colin Powell. So Eric Chupp, the renowned business coach, can you read this excerpt, this notable quotable from Colin Powell? Because it is a knowledge bomb for somebody out there.
I would be happy to. So he says, a mirror reflects a man's face, but what he is really like is shown by the kind of friends he chooses. The simple but true fact of life is that you become like those.
Time out.
Yo.
This is why I block people on Facebook.
And from your house with a wall and a gate.
And from my phone with the block feature.
Right.
So I'm just throwing this out there. There's somebody I know that recently decided to live with a woman who was married. But he wasn't married to her. So he was having an affair with a married woman. And I've known this guy for a long time. So I told him what I thought about it.
Yep.
And I blocked him. So a 10-year relationship is over. Boop, boop. Person I've known for a long time smuggled drugs and got arrested, went to prison. So you know what I do? I block him. God gives you unconditional love. I don't. I would refer you to a church. You're out there, you're going, gosh, I need unconditional love, baby. I need unconditional love. That's great. But like, if I'm a police officer and you're speeding, you're violating the laws of the land as it relates to speed, I have a duty as a job as a police officer to hold you accountable to the laws of the road. And I'm going to pull you over, woo, woo, and I'll give you a ticket. If I was a police officer, I would pride myself on pulling people over all day, every day. No warnings. I'd be like, hey, how's it going? Good to see you. You doing all right? Awesome. Hey, I'm going to give you a ticket because you're going too fast. And I'd be funny about it and nice about
Triple
it. Like,
stamped and double stamped.
I might say, hey, did you think the speed limit said 130? Okay, cool. Well, here's how it works. Typically, people who are driving 130 miles an hour might kill somebody. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a ticket, and I'm going to give you a massive ticket, the biggest one that I'm allowed to give you. But I'm not going to recommend we put you in jail because I could do that where we could just tow the car right now.
Right.
I'm going to give you a huge ticket, and then if I catch you again, I'll do it again. And I pride myself on giving the same people tickets over and over. And because I recognize your vehicle, I'll keep doing it. And so that's what I would do. That's how I manage people as well.
Right.
And so that's kind of, I mean, what Colin Powell's talking about is huge here. You are guilty by association. Chuck, can you read the notable quotable from Colin Powell?
Yep. He says, goes on to say, the simple but true fact of life is that you become like those with whom you closely associate, for the good and the bad. And he has a note here. Be not mistaken. This is applicable to family as well as friends. Yes, do love, appreciate, and be thankful for your family, for they will always be your family no matter what. Just know that they are human first, and though they are family to you, they may be a friend to someone else and will fit somewhere in the criteria above.
I could say this. Outside of my very close family, like, let's say, I don't know, the people gave birth to me and, the my actual kids that I have and my wife, I don't like family at all. I wish I didn't have a family because their pot smoking, their joblessness, their poor work ethic they bring, it like contaminates me by association. It's like, oh, you're related to that person. Oh, so I have pretty much categorically unfriended, blocked, deleted any type of family association I have at all, except for the ones that I share the same values with. Because I am not somebody who I just don't want the drama. I don't want to be surrounded by idiots. And so a lot of people ask on this show, they say, gosh, your ideas, the reason why I'm able to have success in the areas of faith, family, finance, fitness, friendship, fun, why I have a great life, why I like what I do is because I literally am only around happy people all the time. People say, that sounds so exciting. Gosh, I wish I could do that. I would love to live behind a wall as well, where I'm surrounded with only people I like. I mean, I can sincerely tell you, I love the Man Cave, and I love all the guests we have in the Man Cave. We have folks like Aaron Antis on the show.
Good dude.
I feel like a brother to Aaron Antis. We have people like Dr. Zoellner on the show. We have great people on the show, in the studio. And you know why? Because we don't let the idiots in. And if you want to have a happy life where you're not constantly embattled with human drama, you've got to set boundaries and punt certain people out of your life.
Say no. Say no sometimes.
Say no sometimes. Also, when you're managing people, certain people need to be fired.
Yes.
That's what is required to have the life that you desire. You've got to fire people that aren't a good fit. And if you're not willing to do that, you simply will not be successful. And one guy who is the top chiropractor in Tulsa, I want to tell you about this guy before the break here, is Dr. Sibley. Chuck, tell us his website and tell us his contact information.
You can get a hold of him at drjohnsibley.com, drjohnsibley.com, or call him at 918-749-5741. Again, 918-749-5741. He's right over there at 51st and Harvard, drjohnsibley.com, 918-749-5741.
No negative emotion, cause that's what business is. Always dominate, cause I got 5 kids. I will not lose, I don't break but bruise. They can talk about me, I can take that abuse. Here is the truth, while they make that excuse. I'll be up grinding, cause the scoreboard's the truth. He is my mentor, like my Yoda dude. He showed me the force like I was a young Luke.
Thrive Nation, welcome back to the Thrivetime Show on your radio. My name is Clay Clark. I am the former U.S. SBA Entrepreneur of the Year and the father of 5 kids, sent here on a mission to get you into a great financial position. And to do that, you're going to have to learn how to manage people effectively. If you own a business, you're going to have to manage people effectively. Now, again, I go back to my analogy, the circle. I go back to the circle where we started off the show. But Chuck, you and I consider us to be friends. Because I like you, hopefully you like me, but I like you, you're a good guy. And so if we were grilling out there behind the building, we're just grilling out there behind the studio.
Chilling and grilling.
And we're just buddies grilling. I would say this. Eric Chupp is probably the most mantastic and fantastic griller I've ever seen. This guy, but you worked, where did you work? What was one of your first jobs?
Well, one of my first jobs, I was 12, 13, 14 years old, and I worked at a restaurant out in Catoosa, Oklahoma called Molly's Landing Steakhouse.
But you're very good at grilling.
I love to grill. It's
right,
one of my
but
passions.
You're very good at it because you spend a lot of time at it.
Right.
You also take pride in it.
Yep.
And so if Chupp and I were buddies and we're grilling back there, which we've done before, his food is fantastic. I'm just telling you, Eric Chupp is probably the best griller I've seen in a long time. I just absolutely, I'm just telling you, I love his food. He does a great job. But I can also say this, systemically and categorically, I am probably the worst griller ever. Now, I recently have gotten better because I've kind of learned some of his moves, but I'm just telling you, I'm bad. So if we were out there grilling for fun, I would say, wow, Chup, your food's great. If I overcooked the food, he would just rag on me. We'd joke about it like, dude, that was pretty terrible.
Right.
But it wouldn't be like a deal breaker because the friendship is an unconditional thing. It's like, hey, we're buddies because we know each other. We have certain things we like about each other, whatever.
Right. You could mess up the grill meat 10 times in a row,
and it wouldn't
not that big a deal.
Right. But now if I worked for you at Molly's Landing, which is known for having high quality food, and I messed up the food even twice for a customer, you're probably going to have to fire me or think about firing me.
Yeah, at least meet with you, explain to you what's going on, see if we can fix the problem. And if we cannot fix the problem, then you'll have to move on.
And it's because we're trying to serve a customer who is exchanging their dollars, their hard-earned dollars, for goods and services. And
completely different expectation, right?
Right. And so if you and I are buddies, and I said, Chup, gosh, I'd love to come work for you at your steakhouse. If you knew anything about me at all, and you cared about our relationship at all, as my friend, you would have to say, hey, here's the deal. I know a lot of guys. I've met a lot of guys. Let me tell you what. You're probably the worst griller I've ever met, and you know this. So why don't you not work for me so we can still become buddies?
Yeah, that's good.
Because in the event that I did hire you, I would also have to fire you for doing a poor job, and I don't want to fire you because we've been buddies forever.
Right.
Well, as a guy who's been self-employed in some way, shape, or form since the age of 16, I mean, I was 16 years old. I remember I was DJing a Students Against Drunk Driving dance in Cokato, Minnesota, and I hired a guy by the name of Oswald to provide the speakers to me. I rented the speakers from him. He was in a band. I rented the speakers, and he delivered the speakers. So we had like this relationship, like, man, I paid you, and you let me rent the speakers, and I brought them back on time. But I hired two other people, whose names I shall not mention, because they didn't show up. And so the day of the big dance occurs. We've got all these people attending the dance, my first big gig as a DJ, aspiring disc jockey, 16 years old. And two of the three people that I counted on to be there didn't show up. And so I learned real quick, age 16, like, man.
Welcome to business.
Welcome to business. And so I quit being friends with those guys because they did it again the second time. And I realized they didn't care. Their word was not their bond. It didn't matter to them. And so because I've been self-employed since 16, I'm 37, this is 21 years, I can honestly tell you I have had to fire probably 1,000 people. And we only have in Tulsa. Can you look up the population of Tulsa? Like, how many people live in Tulsa, Oklahoma? I don't know the actual number, but I would speculate
400,000.
So there's 400,000. So that means out of every 400 people. So if I walk into a Walmart, I fired somebody in there, whether a customer or an employee, because there's only about 400 people in a Walmart at any given time.
Right.
If I go to a Drillers game, I for sure. I mean, think about this. What's the seating capacity of the Tulsa Drillers Stadium? I think it holds like 20,000 people, maybe 15,000 people. The Tulsa Drillers, it's downtown Tulsa. For those of you who don't know, they're a minor league baseball team, AA team. They're an affiliate for the Los Angeles Dodgers. What's the seating capacity of the Drillers Stadium?
Let me find it. Oh, Drillers website's down. Come on.
Let's just say right now it's 15,000. Okay,
that'd probably be better.
I mean, and maybe I'm wrong, but let's just say it is. That means that I have fired 37.5 people at every Drillers game.
Ooh.
So it's like a deal where I don't like to go out very much because as soon as I go out, I want to go back in. I went to a Jerry Seinfeld show there, and I went to go see Jerry Seinfeld, and I'm literally going to a bar with my wife to grab a beverage before the concert, and gosh, sitting right next to me is somebody who, long story short, this person's engaged in an extramarital affair with a current member of my team. And so I see them on a date with somebody they're not married to. And it's like weird. Right. But then I go to the bathroom and I run into somebody I fired. That was beautiful. And then I'm sitting right by somebody who actually did a very good job, very, very good job while working for me. So I'm like, yes, this isn't up. Then I'm out there in the lobby with my wife, about ready to get in. We got great seats. And the guy next to me, oh my gosh, I'm so happy that I ran into this guy. This is Randy, the guy who introduced me to Pinionwood.
Oh, really?
The guy who introduced me to Pinionwood. I'm going to try to get him on the show.
That's awesome.
Randy with Five Oaks Lodge was there, and he was like, Clay Clark. And I'm like, Randy. His wife's the one who introduced me to heavy thread linens for the DJ business. And so but it's like, I know a lot of people now. And so all I would just say is if you're going to manage people, gosh, you've got to become comfortable with making people upset.
You have to.
You've got to be comfortable.
One of my favorite one of your stories like that is you talked about being at church and peeing in a urinal.
Oh.
And some guy's trying to talk to you about firing his kid at the urinal. Like,
fired his daughter.
Hey, man, eyes forward, no talking, man law. Come
I'm trying to use the urinal in peace, and a man has explained to me he's very frustrated that I fired his daughter when I'm going to the bathroom at a church.
That's over the line. Come on.
This is why you won't typically see me in a Tulsa church. You're going to see me in a church in other cities. You'll see me watching online, but I just try to avoid.
You won't see him watching it online because he'll be here.
Right, that's a good point. So with any further ado, though, we're going to play an audio excerpt with a member of our team so you can hear what it's like to be managed in our systems. If you are a member of our team, you can hear about what it's like when we manage, because that's the big struggle for entrepreneurs is how do you manage people? And we teach how to do it all the time, but we took the time to interview members of our team so you can hear from them directly what it's like to be managed on our team. Without any further ado, interviews with our team members.
My name is D. Tucker, and I've known Clay for going on about 5 years now. I'm the lead designer here at Thrive, and working with Clay is an anomaly. If Thrive is a set of principles, watching Clay is like watching the standard. It can be an amazing experience just being around him. In my time working with Clay, I've really learned how to simplify things in life. And I've learned to say no to some things. Improving my work-life balance has been huge. I think people who are kind of curious about their own limits and love trying new things and like being challenged, I think you're going to enjoy working with Clay. Clay's passion for helping people grow their businesses, I would say, is just genuine. He really hates to see people struggle, and he wants to help them in any way he can to grow their business. What I'd say is the most polarizing about Clay's management style is that he doesn't let you get your own area and get comfortable. He's always pulling you into things that terrify you, pulling you on the radio show and just making you stretch yourself and expand yourself. I think if you think you've got it figured out pretty much, you're gonna have a hard time working with Clay. If you're about to meet Clay for the first time, definitely be on time and be present in the room. Be focused on what you're there to do, and don't be distracted by phones and buzzing and texting and all of that. Not to get too deep, but I think what Clay sees in his turkeys, chickens, and cats, trust is kind of huge. And trust is not an element of perfection. You don't trust people because they're perfect. You trust them because they're consistent. And I think consistency is something that he really appreciates in people. And to me, those animals kind of epitomize consistency. It's easy to get into a routine with those animals. You know, he knows what to expect.
If you have ever struggled to manage people, go to thrivetimeshow.com. That's thrivetimeshow.com and book your tickets for our next in-person workshop, June 22nd and 23rd. 3, 2, 1, boom!
Clay, my honor to be on your show, and thank you for all you do. I hear the ripple effects from you are good ripple effects. You know what I mean? People rave about what they learned from you, so congratulations.
Sean, guess what's happening? April 9th and 10th, 2026.
We are probably going to have an amazing business conference here at Tulsa, Jerusalem.
Yes, we're joined by Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow is going to be joining us right here at the Thrivetime Show World Headquarters, June 5th and 6th. He's a very successful football player, obviously a Heisman Award winner, but he's also a very successful entrepreneur. Now, when you work with real clients, Sean, clients you really work with to help them grow their companies, do you ever hear a business owner tell you that they didn't have time to get something done?
Every day.
How often is not having enough time a problem for business owners?
All the time. It's like maybe 90% of the issues as people are trying to grow their company.
Well, Tim Tebow is going to come join us here at the in-person Thrivetime Show 2-day interactive business workshop, and he's going to teach us time management and his approach to personal self-discipline and getting things done. Also at the workshop, I'll put up on the website so people can see it here. Also at the 2-day interactive workshop, Sean, we are going to be, there it is. We're going to be teaching accounting, systems creation, marketing, human resources, how to hire, inspire, train, and retain great people, accounting, social media advertising, search engine optimization. Sean, what's the area where most clients ask you for help the most? Is it generating leads? Is it hiring people? What's the biggest issue that most business owners have by default before they come to one of our workshops?
Well, I think it's management, because time is the most valuable resource for these business owners, and being able to manage their time is the first thing. Once they get that under control, then generally the numbers, being able to track their business and be able to make the best decisions based on numbers rather than emotions is a big area. And we teach all of this stuff at the business conference, particularly you, Clay. You love to hammer on time management. It's my favorite part of the conference.
Now, I'm going to pull this up real quick here because we're going to go through. If you're not excited, I want to get you excited about what we're going to cover at the workshop here. Okay.
All right.
The 2-day interactive workshop. This is my 20th year hosting workshops. So I'm telling you, folks, we're in rare form here. So one is the idea of establishing your revenue goals. I think most entrepreneurs don't know their revenue goals. Would you agree, or am I off my rocker?
No, that's totally a very important point we do with every one of our new clients that come on board, is we have to establish the revenue goals. And generally speaking, we have a vague idea, but not an exact idea that can be engineered down into like the daily goals for sales. And so that's a really big one.
Now, next is the break-even numbers. What kind of sales do you have to do to even break even?
Yeah.
Third is, how many hours per week do you want to work? What is your ideal schedule as an entrepreneur? Box number 4, how do you stand out in the clutter of commerce? What makes your company unique from all the different businesses? In a world of brown cows, herds of brown cows, proverbial brown cows, the analogy of brown cows, how can you be the purple cow that stands out? How can you be the squeaky wheel that gets the oil? Box number 5, branding. How do you improve the perception that people have of you, your business, your brand? Box number 6, marketing, your 3-legged marketing stool. What is a turnkey way for you and your company to generate leads so you can succeed? Because if you don't have any leads, your business will bleed. If you can't sell, your business will go to hell. You've got to generate leads. Sean, how often do business owners by default tell you they have a hard time generating leads?
It's almost all of the time. It's really a huge struggle. And many times they may be creating leads, but just through word of mouth. So they get to a point where we've implemented systems, and then they need to create more leads, but they've never had to do it. So there's a lot of different scenarios where business owners are like, how do you create leads? Something we hammer on at the conference a lot.
Box number 7, create a sales conversion system. Again, box number 7, create a sales conversion system. Sales scripts, recorded calls, one-sheets, pre-written emails, lead trackers, all of the sales tools, the sales print pieces, the one-sheets, the big screens that you see inside the business. Whether you're a doctor, you're a dentist, you're a lawyer, you got to have sales systems in place. We help you with that. Box number 8, what does it cost you to get another customer? Step number 8, what does it cost you to actually acquire a customer? Step number 9, it's hard to build an organization if you're not organized. We're going to teach you how to create repeatable systems, processes, file organization. Box number 10, we're going to teach you how to manage people, real people on the planet Earth. This just in, we're going to teach you how to manage real people on the planet Earth. Box number 11, how to create a sustainable schedule that works for you and your family. Step number 12, how to create human resources systems for recruiting, hiring, training, and retaining great people. Box number 13, accounting. This just in, we have to cover accounting. It's not how much you make, it's how much you keep. We're going to cover all the accounting things you need to know. And step 14, finally, what is the point of even achieving success? We're going to go over what is the point of even achieving success, how to design a life that you're excited about, how to design a life where you carve out enough time for your faith, your family, your finance, your fitness, your friendship, your fun, and where you're going to spend your focused time. We're going to go through that, all this and more. Now, the workshop, Sean, it's April 9th and 10th. It's a 2-day interactive workshop.
Yes.
And tickets, we always do it. It's $250 or whatever price that someone can afford. Sean, why do we let people name their price? Why do we have scholarship tickets available if somebody can't afford the $250 general admission ticket?
Well, we don't want anybody to miss out on it. You know, you could be at a startup phase or you could be, you know, way along in your business, but we want to make it accessible for everybody. I think it actually goes back to a story of your dad, and like it goes all the way back to how you've always done this as a business coach, trying to make sure that, you know, your average people out there have access to the things that work.
Now, 7 a.m. to 5, Sean, why do we go from 7 to 5 both days? I mean, it's 10 hours a day. 20 hours of training over 2 days. Why do we do 10 hours a day, Sean, of back-to-back workshops? We do a 30-minute teaching session. We do a 15-minute question and answer session, and then we take a break. 30 minutes of teaching, 15 minutes of question and answer, then we take a break. Why do we do that format, Sean?
That format is so that we can keep people engaged and not just sitting there listening, but also getting involved. We really encourage people to ask questions, and that's really where the juiciness of the conference comes out, is you can put your personal situation and your questions on the board, and Clay will tee off and give you direct advice. Even without being in our coaching program, you can get direct coaching from Clay. It's really a very engaging format. I enjoy it a lot.
Once again, folks, this event is April 9th and 10th, 2026. Get those tickets at thrivetimeshow.com. Once again, that's thrivetimeshow.com. Whoa. Who's our keynote speaker coming to the conference there, Sean?
Tim Tebow is our keynote speaker.
Sean, question number 3. How much does it cost to come to our in-person 2-day interactive business workshop right here in Tulsa, Oklahoma?
I think it's, did you say it's $250 or whatever you can afford?
That's right, $250 or whatever you can afford. Sean, how do you spell Eric Trump backwards?
P-M-U-R-T-C-I-R-E. Ooh, that took a long time.
I'll have to listen to this. You did it right. All right, again, that's Sean Lohman. I'm Clay Clark, inviting you to come join us at the in-person Thrivetime Show 2-day interactive workshop. This event is April 9th and 10th, 2026. Get those tickets at thrivetimeshow.com. Once again, that's thrivetimeshow.com. Right here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Tim Tebow, baby. It's Tebow time.
Oh, yeah.
Tulsa, Jerusalem.
Doing a lot of different things, but you chose to be here.
Clay Clark is here somewhere. Where's my buddy Clay? Clay's the greatest. I met his goats today. I met his dogs. I met his chickens. I saw his compound. He's like the greatest guy.
I ran from his goats, his chickens, his dogs.
So this guy's like the greatest marketer you've ever seen, right? His entire life, Clay Clark, his entire life is marketing.
Hey guys, Luke Erickson here with the Thrivetime Show. As you can see behind me, we've got all kinds of energy going on. People are starting to show up for the conference, and it is hot in this place. We got grill guns over here. We've got people playing the drums. We've got a fire breather, and man, people are so excited as they come in. The conference is kicked off. This house is packed. We've got Aaron Hansis with Shaw Holmes up there. We've got Steve Currington with Total Ending Concepts up there talking about what is possible when you just implement. When you do the proven system. It's so exciting. People are going crazy. Guys, Luke Erickson with the Thrivetime Show here with you. It is day 2 and the energy is high. People are so excited to be showing up. The team is ready. Come on, let's see what it's like to go on in for day 2. Follow me.
My name is Kevin Thomas, and the name of our company is MultiClean. We are a commercial janitorial service, and we serve the entire state of Oklahoma and Kansas, and soon to be Arkansas. We have probably grown probably 5 times. We've added, I think when we first started with you, we had 60 to 65 employees, and now we have a little over 300 employees. Before we got involved with Thrivetime, we didn't really have any systems or processes in place. So I've probably been to, in 6-7 years, I've probably been to 12 to 13 business conferences, and amazingly, each time I go, I learn something new, and I'm so excited to bring it back and show the team.
4,000% from February to February. Now I can better that. Okay, Clay, I don't think you know this. I don't think you know this. I'm pinching myself, and if I cry, forgive me. In the last 2.5 days, we have bettered our entire month of February in the last 2.5 days?
I heard about it on the podcast. Started listening to the podcast, became a fan, and then figured out about the workshop. I own an insurance and financial services agency, and I was hoping to learn from the workshop systems and processes. I'm big on systems and processes, and always learning better ways to run a business more efficiently. The atmosphere's second to none. It's a high energy, really cool atmosphere to be around. Contagious, I would say. Just something every entrepreneur, I think, would appreciate and love. I'd say humorous, high energy, and full of substance, which I think is the key. A lot of business coaches or seminars maybe are high on motivation and making you feel good, but don't have a lot of substance that you can take back and implement, the following Monday, where his does. Man, there's a lot of valuable things. I'm gonna say, this is my second workshop. The first workshop I took back really the importance of a group interview. I used to spend hours and hours interviewing people, screening resumes, and that saving my time on that part is valuable. It was that and then the sales scripting that have been two major things just so far. Man, I think they're missing out on, expert advice from somebody who's been there, done that, built companies, has learned a lot of lessons. That's what I'm always looking for, is somebody that I can learn from that's ahead of where I am. And I think if you choose not to come, you're missing out on a lot of good advice that can help your business.
Hi, this is Charles and Amber Kolaw. We're the owners of Kolaw Fitness. We heard about Clay Clark through Paul Hood, our CPA. We've worked with Clay Clark for the last 2 years. Clay Clark has helped us take our 3 locations in 3 different states and create checklists, workflows, task lists, time blocks for every employee. He's helped us with creating systems and audits for every department, quantitative scorecards for each department and every position so that everybody has a number. It's been able to give us a lot of time freedom and financial freedom and peace of mind to know that everything's running efficiently, and he's been helpful with a lot of marketing, search engine optimization, helping us really rank high in Google, and pretty much every area of the business. It's been very, very helpful.
We would describe the experience of working with Clay as very energetic. He's full of energy. He's very encouraging, very motivating, but also accountable. So he keeps us accountable, and we love that accountability. It keeps our drive in the right direction, so we're not chasing things that aren't worth spending our time on.
Yeah, he's a great coach. He helps push us on certain areas, helps coach us in certain areas. We're all emotional creatures, and we go up and down, and he actually will tell us kind of where we're at, how we can get from there, and even emotionally, when we're stressed about something, he'll have a story to relate to, and it really helps us in every area of our business. It's been very, very helpful.
I think Clay's ability to have a whole team behind him that help him with all of his clients, all his coaching clients, is that it allows Clay to do what he's really good at, and that's working one-on-one with the client and coaching them. And then he can have his amazing staff come in and help you accomplish all these goals that you're setting.
And of course, he has all these resources, whether it's videographers or whether it's web developers, that they can quickly jump on your project, knock things out. He can quickly give you the right coaching. He's just got a whole team of people that whatever area you're lacking in your own company, he's got resources from video, web design, search engine guys who are just knowledgeable in that. Even though he knows a lot of that stuff, he's got these capable lieutenants that are ready to just take off and help you get that stuff. More stuff gets done on a weekly basis than you would on probably most than the individual or some other company. We've worked with several companies before, and it's just not as many things get done on a weekly basis, so it's been very helpful. Well, the conferences for me, I'm a slow learner, so I have to learn over and over again, hear things over and over again. I've been to I think 8 different conferences, And each time you come, I learn a few new components. Some things are repetitive, but a lot of the stuff just resettles and I get a little bit more depth into each component. I've been to 8 of them. They're all super entertaining. He's very funny, very encouraging. You get to kind of self-reflect a lot. A lot of the stuff is really polarizing. You do a personal inventory of yourself and you'll think like, hey, I've really got to work on this, really got to work on that. So every time you come, I still get a lot of value out of it.
And as much as every conference is the same, it's totally different. So I think we'll hear stories we haven't heard before. He'll have entertainment, or he'll have speakers he didn't have before. And you, like you said, you just always catch a different part of the material that maybe you didn't catch before, or it's worded differently.
And it's really cool because some people that you've seen like a year ago at a conference, now they're being showcased as a success story, and you get to see their website, you get to see how their stats, all their metrics have improved and the revenue improved. So it's really cool to see people that just a year ago, that of course we've been here 2 years, that just came, that I met, is now being successful. It's really encouraging to see other people, accomplish that stuff. So Clay has helped us optimize our website and helped with really topping the right search engines that we need to make sure that we are very, very competitive with all of our other competitors. He's done, basically he outlines exactly what you need to be accomplishing, and he creates tasks that we have to accomplish and his team has to accomplish. And I would say over the last 2 years, we've totally ramped our website. We're topping Google in every one of our markets. We're just doing really, really good. I feel very, very confident in all of our future locations and making sure that we're in front of the ideal and likely buyer. It's very encouraging. It's important to me to know when I'm working with Clay, I've been in business for a while and met with him even when I already had three businesses in 3 different states, and to know that what I share with him is staying private. He's not sending that out to anybody else. To know that when he's working with me, he's only working with no other gyms that are in direct competition with me. It's very encouraging to have somebody you can trust and rely on, that he isn't going to somehow tell your trade secrets or give information away. Just really awesome that he's a trustworthy guy, really cares about you as a client. For us, it's been a complete mind freedom because Clay has helped us create a lot of different documents and one-sheets for every department, put quantitative scorecards to each department. And so for us, it's been very encouraging and gives us peace. And when, as an entrepreneur, it's stressful. You go to bed at night, you're worried, did we cover this, did we cover that? So he helps extract everything out of your brain, everything from your business, put it into document creation, put it into checklists and workflows for every person in each department, and make sure that everything's getting done every week, every month, and funnel that all into KPIs or key performance indicators that you can see on a weekly basis to make sure you're moving the needle in the right area of your company. So very encouraging and give you a complete mind freedom and peace to know that stuff's created so you're easy to duplicate and scale your company.
Right, and then we can spend time doing what we're really good at and just trust the system.
I honestly believe everybody needs a coach. I think we're all inherently lazy and selfish and carnal. I truly believe that humans are humans. If we're standing, we'd rather sit. If we're sitting, we'd rather lay down. And if we're laying down, we'd rather be asleep. So to have somebody that challenges you, have real active candor, and be honest with you on every aspect of your company is really, really encouraging to me, because I want to know, I want to work on what we're weak at. I want to see any areas that we're not doing well in, and see his perspective from a third party, because you can look at your own business and just see the good. It's good to have somebody who's done this with hundreds of companies. Really look at your company, reflect on your company, and see little chinks in the armor to make sure you cover that up so your competition can't get to you, and that you're successful overall in the big picture. So yes, I would recommend Clay Clark because he is a great friend, a great encourager. To me, he's been a wonderful friend. He's also, you can tell he cares, and he has this wealth of knowledge. He's worked with so many different companies and different businesses. He could take a concept that he's used before in the past with somebody totally different industry and see how it would work perfectly for you in whatever niche market you're in or whatever type of service you're providing. And so his brain is just a wealth of knowledge, and just to have that type of perspective on, as a part of your team and your own company is huge, super valuable. So I would definitely encourage people to use him. But one thing is, you got to be coachable. You got to be wanting to get feedback. You got to be wanting to really grow your company. You got to want to put that extra 10 hours a week to working on your business and not just in your business. And so, yes, I would recommend it to anybody who's wanting to grow their company and provide great systems, checklists, workflows, great encouragement, and have accountability.
Hi, I'm Aaron Antis with Shaw Homes. I first heard about Clay through a mortgage lender here in town who had told me what a great job he had been doing for them, and I actually noticed he was driving a Lamborghini all of a sudden, so I was willing to listen. In my career, I've sold a little over $800 million in real estate. So honestly, I thought I kind of knew everything about marketing and homes. And then I met Clay, and my perception of what I knew and what I could do definitely changed. After doing $800 million in sales over a 15-year career, I really thought I knew what I was doing. I've been managing a large team of salespeople for the last 10 years here with Shaw Homes. And I mean, we've been a company that's been in business for 35 years. We've become one of the largest builders in the Tulsa area, and that was without Clay. So when I came to know Clay, I really thought, man, there's not much more I need to know, but I'm willing to listen. The interesting thing is our internet leads from our website has actually, in a 4-month period of time, has gone from somewhere around 10 to 15 leads in a month to 180 internet leads in a month. Just from the few things that he's shown us how to implement that I honestly probably never would have come up with on my own. So I got a lot of good things to say about the system that Clay put in place with us. And it's just been an incredible experience. I am very glad that we met and had the opportunity to work with Clay. So the interaction with the team and with Clay on a weekly basis is honestly very enlightening. One of the things that I love about Clay's perspective on things is that he doesn't come from my industry. He's not somebody who's in the home building industry. I've listened to all the experts in my field. Our company has paid for me to go to seminars, international builder shows, all kinds of places where I've had the opportunity to learn from the experts in my industry. But the thing that I've found working with Clay is that he comes from such a broad spectrum of working with so many different types of businesses that he has a perspective that's difficult for me to gain because I get so entrenched in what I do, I'm not paying attention to what other leading industry experts are doing. And Clay really brings that perspective for me. It is very valuable time every week when I get that hour with him. From my perspective, the reason that any business owner who's thinking about hooking up with Thrive needs to definitely consider it is because the results that we've gotten in a very short period of time are honestly monumental. It has really exceeded my wildest expectation of what he might be able to do. I came in skeptical because I'm very pragmatic, and as I've gone through the process over just a few months, I've realized it's probably one of the best moves we've ever made. I think a lot of people probably feel like they don't need a business or marketing consultant because they maybe are a little bit prideful and like to think they know everything. I know that's how I felt coming in. I mean, we're a big company that's definitely one of the largest in town. And so we kind of felt like we knew what we were doing. And I think for a lot of people, they let their ego get in the way of listening to somebody that might have a better or different perspective than theirs. I would just really encourage you, if you're thinking about working with Clay, I mean, the thing is, it's month to month. Go give it a try and see what happens. I think in the 35-year history of Shaw Homes, this is probably the best thing that's happened to us. And I know if you give them a shot, I think you'll feel the same way. I know for me, the thing I would have missed out on if I didn't work with Clay is I would have missed out on literally an 1,800% increase in our internet leads, going from 10 a month to 180 a month. That would have been a huge financial decision to just decide not to give it a shot. I would absolutely recommend Clay Clark to anybody who's thinking about working with somebody in marketing. I would skip over anybody else you were thinking about, and I would go straight to Clay and his team. I guarantee you're not going to regret it, because we sure haven't.
My name is Danielle Sprick, and I am the founder of D Sprick Realty Group here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. After being a stay-at-home mom for 12 years and my 3 kids started school and they were in school full-time, I was at a crossroads and trying to decide what do I want to do? My degree and my background is in education, but after being a mom and staying home and all of that, I just didn't have a passion for it like I once did. My husband suggested real estate. He's a home builder, so real estate and home building go hand in hand, and we just rolled with it. I love people, I love working with people, I love the building relationships, but one thing that was really difficult for me was the business side of things. The processes and the advertising and marketing. I knew that I did not have what I needed to make that what it should be. So I reached out to Clay at that time, and he and his team have been extremely instrumental in helping us build our brand, help market our business, our agents, the homes that we represent. Everything that we do is a direct line from Clay and his team and all that they've done for us. We launched our brokerage, our real estate brokerage, 8 months ago. And in that time, we've gone from myself and one other agent to just this week, we signed on our 16th agent. We have been blessed with the fact that we right now have just over 10 million in pending transactions. 3 years ago, I never would have even imagined that I would be in this role that I'm in today, building a business, having 16 agents. But I have to give credit where credit's due. And Clay and his team and the business coaching that they've offered us has been huge. It's been instrumental in what we're doing. Don't ever limit your vision. When you dream big, big things happen.
I started a business because I couldn't work for anyone else. I do things my way. I do what I think is in the best interest of the patient. I don't answer to insurance companies. I don't answer to large corporate organizations. I answer to my patient, and that's it. My thought when I opened my clinic was I can do this all myself. I don't need additional outside help in many ways. I went to medical school. I can figure this out. But it was a very, very steep learning curve. Within the first 6 months of opening my clinic, I had a $63,000 embezzlement. I lost multiple employees. Clay helped us weather the storm of some of the things that are just a lot of people experience, especially in the medical world. He was instrumental in helping with the specific written business plan. He's been instrumental in hiring good quality employees, using the processes that he outlines for getting in good talent, which is extremely difficult. He helped me in securing the business loans. He helped me with web development and search engine optimization. We've been able to really keep a steady stream of clients coming in because they found us on the web. With everything that I encountered, everything that I experienced, I quickly learned it is worth every penny to have someone in your team that can walk you through and even avoid some of the pitfalls that are almost invariable in starting your own business. I'm Dr. Chad Edwards, and I own Revolution Health and Wellness Clinic.
Clay, my honor to be on your show, and thank you for all you do. I hear the ripple effects from you are good ripple effects, you know what I mean? People rave about what they learned from you, so congratulations.
And we went from expecting maybe 250,000 this year to we're at 400,000. Hi, I'm Kelsey with K&D's Woodruff Finishing, business owner at 23. So I've been working this K&D's company for about 5 years now, and we started working with Thrive not too long ago. And we went from expecting maybe 250,000 this year to we're at 400,000. That's what we're going to hit or exceed. So we're pretty excited about that. It's been pretty much just listening to what they have to say. Their hiring process has just really been incredible as far as finding good quality help, and the just the accountability of meeting up with them weekly, and like such good insight, the resources that they have for specific business questions. It's all been really incredible. It's been a great experience, so I would recommend it to anybody.
What I've seen from Clay and his group at Thrive is they'll give you a simple system, and it's the simple systems are the ones that people can wrap their brain around. They're the ones that people can work with on a day-to-day basis.
Hi there, my name is Stephanie Pipkin. I am 24 years old and I own Black River Falls Cleaning Services. We opened in April of 2019 and it is now mid-June of 2020. So I wanted to talk today about the success and growth I have achieved by implementing the Proven Path with Clay Clark's team and my business coach Luke from Thrivetime. It has been insane to say the least. I started working with them in mid-February of this year, so we're about 4 months in of working together, and it has completely transformed my business in pretty much every facet. So I'm gonna check my notes here. So in 4 months, my leads have tripled. I was getting probably like 2 leads a week. Now I'm getting more in the like 10 to 15 leads a week. I have doubled my number of employees. I'm now hitting the highest revenue weeks in the history of the company, week to week it seems like. We went from about 6 appointments today as our highest in February to now 14 to 15 appointments a day. And hiring quality employees has become much simpler and less stressful by using their systems for hiring. I typically only get maybe 2 complaints a month, if that, and everybody shows up to work. I just have really high quality employees now, especially in something people typically consider a high turnover type of work, you know, cleaning houses, cleaning businesses. I have amazing employees now, and I get rid of the ones who are not so amazing and bring on new ones because of, you know, group interviews and interviewing every single week. It's just been great, and such I don't waste as much time on low quality candidates anymore. And your coach will hold you accountable. I mean, which I love. Again, the tough love is really great. You know, Luke's like a stern father figure, but he's also nice, but also stern when he needs to be, when I'm being lazy and not doing the things that I know I need to do because I don't want to do them. So that's just great. Worth every penny. I mean, I'd pay him $1 million a month if I can, and maybe someday I'll be able to, but I would just say go for it. If it seems like a good fit, just go for it. Do what they say, even if you think it's stupid or ridiculous. Just do what they say because it'll work. You know, people, when they look at my business, you know, people in my town, they think I'm lucky. They think I'm just, you know, things just happen for me. And, you know, maybe I am lucky, but it has a lot to do with hard work and, you know, perseverance and, you know, working till you cry sometimes. That's just being an entrepreneur, which if you're a business owner, you understand that. But it's having these systems in place of, you know, of course I'm going to be successful. It's an absolute because I have all this stuff in the background happening, and I have Luke and Clay and everybody on their team working really hard to make sure that I'm a success. And I can tell that they are just so excited every single week when I'm having all these wins and things like that. They're so excited for me. So it's the best thing ever, and I would suggest to anybody to work with them. So sorry for the long-winded reply, but I just had so much to say, and I could go on for hours probably about how amazing they are. But thank you to Clay and Luke and the entire team there, everything you guys have done for me, and I am so excited to continue to work with you for years to come. Thanks so much for watching.
My saying is, if it's important to you, hire a coach. And I think that's one of the reasons people are not successful is they eat a cheeseburger instead of hiring a coach, you know what I mean? And so my coach pushes me. They're younger than me. They push harder. They're trained. And as my rich dad always said, you know, amateurs don't have a coach, but professionals always have coaches. So I've always had coaches for whatever was important. You know, my rich dad was one of those persons. I wanted to learn how to play Monopoly in real life. So he was my coach.